We play it on Saturday. Kids can't compete based on quarters or some Keisha stuff that they got into at that time. And I don't know if it's the same in the Jayhawk League, but never mind. They were trying to get those games in. Never did get the game in. The game finished as an unfinished ball game. And then there's no fuel stations in Elkhart, Kansas after 12 o'clock at night. So we drove to Hugoton with the low fuel light on. Mitch Reitner and I. We drive to Hugoton. We get to Hugoton with the low fuel light on and pull into the gas station, and there's no electricity in Hugoton. So there's no gas. No gas. Electricity was bound. Storm was blowing through. We slept in the pickup until 3:30 a.m. When they finally got power back on, the gas station came back on. We were able to get gas and come home. Now that's on me for not being prepared and having a full tank of gas. And again, too, being first time in Kansas, I didn't know how far it was to Elkhart. It's out there.
Yeah, it's a ways.
So, hey, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break here. We'll take a long break and then come back. We'll get ready for our pregame show. Again, thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Garden City getting ready to take on Coffeyville Red Ravens. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come right back with your pregame show. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Bronkbuster Football. I've been calling baseball all the time.
You've been called baseball.
Bronkbuster Football here on 99.9 The Rock.
There's their starting quarterback right there is Lang High. Colby Lang High.
I don't know how many more times I'll say Bronkbuster.
Hey, listen, it's cool, man. I mean, you're a baseball man. Huh? Uh-oh. Tell that young lady's not feeling very well.
My enemy, let's go. I need better energy. When I told you, you thought I was playing, huh? Yeah. But I'm in this mirror. She wanted to buy, but I told her that. She look at me like she's surprised, back in the post, and I'm on my own. The box.
Well, we got a thin crowd, but it might be a late arriving crowd.
And I know you think that I ain't see it. And I know you got a car to make me go and buy it. The little Prius on the camera, we can call it even. Friends are like the autumn, every year they leave me. And I'ma rake them in the pile, throw them in the bag. Tie them up and leave them. Cause most of them start deceiving and
So, Aaron, how old are you? Are you like 34 or what? 49. You're just a pup, man. Feel pretty good. Yeah. That's the way I feel, man. I mean, I'm 62 and I feel great. I got to do it now. I got to do it every day or I just don't feel good.
Sorry, we got the visiting up here. We're back here. Back here, Garden City. I did Oh, boy, I'm lost. Garden City Community College here as we get ready to play Bronc-Buster football. Garden City taking on Coffeyville here. Let's go back and quickly take a look at Coffeyville as far as their seasons went. Only played 4 games. They're 3-1 overall. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They lost their opener on the road. They played Hutchinson Community College. That was back in March, the 26th of March. They got beat at Hutch 33-10, and, of course, Hutch, powerhouse this year. I mean, that's the only loss that Garden City's got on our schedule. Then the 3rd of April, they went to Dodge City, able to defeat Dodge City 38-10. They played Highland Sunday the 18th. They won there, shutting Highland out 30-0. Their last win coming against Butler on the 25th, Butler Community College. They won that one in a battle, 29-28.
Yep.
So quite a battle there for the Red Ravens, excuse me. Red Ravens come in. They're putting up 300 yards a game. They're 166 on the ground, 134 on the pass, which numbers kind of surprise me because, again, the scouting report that I heard about Coffeyville is they're going to want to establish the run. They're going to run the ball. They like to pound the ball up and down the field, run it right down your throat, right between the tackles. But when you look at their stats, they're pretty balanced there with 134 yards a game passing. They average 26.8 points per game. They have allowed 224 yards on the ground. 224 total offensive yards, 119 of them on the ground, 104 through the air. They're averaging, they only allow about 17.8 points per game. So, as you look at that, size-wise, we looked at this team coming out, and, man, I'll tell you what. These guys are large. They've got a tremendous amount of size that they're going to put on the field today. And Garden City's got their work cut out for them if they're going to be moving some guys around and getting them out of there. And I think Garden City's going to look to do that too. Going to look to establish some run to open up the pass. Coach, what's your thoughts?
Well, I will tell you that's been their strategy pretty much all year. The thing about it is the teams right now that Garden plays, they don't respect their passing game at all because they put like 8 or 9 people in the box. And when they do that, it makes it very difficult for anybody to run. And they go into a cover 1 or a cover 0 with their defensive backfield, and they'll man up with us on our receivers. So consequently, they've got a couple of extra rushers coming right at us that are going to make it tough for us to run it all.
In our, as I looked at our receiving core, Garden City doesn't have a tremendous amount of size on the receiving core. There's we got 2 or 3 quick guys on the outside that are quick. But to me, from what I see, it makes it easier to man up because nothing else I can kind of cover them up. If I got a D-back that can cover those smaller guys up on the corner, where the quarterback can't see them, if they're open, he still can't see them. So it makes it easier to cover up. And that's something I think Coffeyville.
Well, if you go by what we've done previously in the previous games, look at how many drop passes we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going up against a team that has a lot of drop passes, you think I'm going to respect that?
Mm-hmm.
Heck no. I'm going to say, I'm going to guard you man to man because I know you got butterfingers and you're not going to catch the ball, and we'll just load the box and see if we can get you there. And then offensively, I think Coffeyville's game plan is, hey, we're going to try to gash you with the run, but if we can't do that, we're going to throw those seam routes.
Yeah.
Because what we do is we don't drop our linebackers back, and usually that opens up that seam right in the middle. And, every team that we've played so far has exploited that.
Yeah, but, in today's technology and age, videos right there, it's easy to find those deals, and so I'm sure that we're going to see quite a little bit of that. Garden City comes in 5-1 on the season, 4-1 in conference. They're on a 1-game winning streak right now. They're 3-0 here at Bronc-Buster Field, 1-1 on the road. They are putting up 391 yards offensively on the season, 203 yards on the ground, 187 through the air. They're averaging 42 points a game. And, of course, some of those big scores early in the season really help that. They've allowed total yards. They give up about 264 yards a game. They've only given up, on average, about 90 yards on the ground, 174 through the air, and only allowing their opposing teams to score about 12 points. Garden City started back March 27th, Arkansas Baptist College. They won that one big, 63-6. They traveled into played Fort Scott. They won that one 76-9, and I believe that's one where we set a record for most points scored for the
Yeah,
Garden City.
yeah.
Yeah, Highland, they played Highland 58-0 again, shut Highland out 58-0. Game at Indy got pretty interesting, a win there, 14-10, 4-point win over Indy. And again, the loss at Hutch, 23-7. Last week, Garden City hooked up with their rival Dodge City. They were able to beat Dodge City 34-24, which, being a Garden City guy, you always like to see that in your rivalry game.
Yes.
You always like to announce that.
Unfortunately, we lost about 6 kids, so
Yeah, exactly.
to the personal or the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, and then the targeting.
We had one targeting.
It will be back. He'll be back tonight.
But I think the other guys are out.
Yeah, and then 2 on the corner. Two defensive backs are down with injury, I understand.
Yeah.
So, we talked to Coach Minnick Thursday, and I was going to play that interview. I did get a chance to talk to Minnick on Thursday, but the audio was so bad because of the wind. I'm just not even going to make you guys suffer through that. It was a tough day. But basically, to kind of summarize, we'll just roll right into that. Kind of summarize what Coach Minnick said. He's concerned about depth. They've got guys out and guys on the side, but, he said you're just going to have to go on and play. We can't do anything about that. He talked a lot about the weather, wind in the spring. We talked about that a little bit. And then, offensively, he said just, kind of keep what we're doing. He feels like the offensive game plan has been really good this year. We might see a couple wrinkles tonight. Seen some stuff in practice on Thursday that maybe they were putting in. Maybe a little wildcat action, doing some things like that to change things up. So we'll see if they're going to pull that out of their pocket tonight. But, again, we're going to take another break here, and then we'll come right back. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff here. Glad you guys are joining us here. Anyway, we'll be right back. Let's take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come right back. You're listening to Bronxbuster Football here on 99.9 The Rock.
If they aren't, though, I bet they are. Across the way. So, hey, I like the hat, man.
Out here and sit behind you anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You can do that. Hey, I like the hat, Leonard.
Thank you. You bid your lot out there yet?
Yeah, we're still.
There's gonna be God.
I know, but lumber, man, lumber is.
Well, you don't have to build right now.
Well, I know.
Before we get started with today's game, would you please rise and focus your attention out to the south end zone, to that American flag, for the playing of our national anthem. College Athletic Association, Region 6,
Oh, I think it's something about the police. I think it's like police appreciation.
One over across the
Request
street
your
is
cooperation by supporting the
I don't know
participants
why
and
they're
officials in a
police.
positive
This
manner.
is
Negative comments, profanity,
Welcome back to Bronbuster Field here on the campus of Garden City Community College. Aaron Elam, John Ford rejoining you here as we're about 6 minutes away from kickoff here. Coach, go back and kind of recap last week's game against Dodge City. 5:14 in the first quarter. Dodge City actually scores a touchdown. Goes up 6-0, and then the kick was good. So Dodge City jumped out early. But from there on, for the most part, it was all Garden City. J.C. Hall, a 2-yard touchdown for Garden City. Come back, J.C. Hall, another 65-yard touchdown for Garden City. Garden City kind of got the running game going and made that deal work. Well. So I don't know, kind of what to expect again. I haven't got to cover these guys. Matter of fact, this is my first college football game ever.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I know bucket list. We talked about the bucket list earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, now another check off the bucket list here, covering the Garden City Community College football. I've done quite a little bit of baseball this season, but this is the first football game. So not a lot to expect. I don't know exactly what to expect tonight, but I do think that, again, Garden City going to want to come out and get JC going and get him running downhill.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I think everybody needs to know is, first of all, Coach Liker, he once coached at Garden City and did a fabulous job. And because they went through a little bit of pre-pandemic turmoil with their coaching down in Coffeyville, Jeff happened to be the AD down there, and he decided to take over the football program as well. And the one thing about Jeff Liker's teams is, first of all, they're well coached. And second of all, you're going to have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. You're going to have to beat them. So, I mean, Garden City's got their work cut out for them tonight.
And again, you talked about earlier as we were visiting about how unselfish, the Red Ravens are. They're not in it. It's going to be a team effort. They're going to run a lot by committee. They're going to, do a lot of things, a big team effort. And not that Garden City does, but, something that we definitely know about Coach Liker and something we see.
Well, I know that Coach Liker, I mean, if you take something away from him, I mean, he's smart enough to know, hey, whatever you're taking away from me, there's a weakness someplace else that I'm going to take advantage of. And you got to love coaches like that, I mean, can strategize in game and make the adjustments as needed.
Garden City heads onto the field as they take the field here, getting ready to go. We're about 4 minutes away from kickoff. Tell you what, let's go ahead and take another pregame break here. Take our last pregame break. Let's take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come right back. We should be ready for the kickoff. Don't go anywhere. Exciting game coming up. Garden City taking on the Red Ravens of Coffeyville here on 99.9 The Rock.
But I won't never be last. Lately I've been in my bag, but told me don't take my foot off the gas. They give you an inch, gonna take you a mile. I'ma shoot by myself like a 10-level foul. City to city, got girls going wild, and I reach for my chain when I jump in the crowd. Lambo solo out of squad. We finally made it, let's pop us a bottle. I took the lead and let everyone follow. They know I'm running it right to the bank. They want me to eat it, I didn't leave them in these breathing. I'm sorry, I told them I can't. Heard you a race, so you know what's gonna happen whenever we catch you. I run with them straight. All the moves I've been making, by the time I get 40, I gotta be one of them greats. Watch how I move with this paper. I know if I strip on one time, they gon' try to come take. Real as it getting, these niggas be faking. I don't want they vibe, so they hand ain't shaking. She up on that 42 scraping, no chasing. I'm trying to get out of here and go taste it. Yeah, my diamonds be TV. They don't wanna see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm young, but got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay all my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about lyrically. I be walking on beats, is you hearing me? I just read that my kids real big in me. They can't get rid of me. My diamonds be TV. They don't wanna see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm young, but got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay all my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about lyrically. I be walking on beats, is you hearing me? I just read that my kids real big in me. They can't get rid of me. Wake up every day, somebody harassing me. I got rich, they need money, they asking me. I was sitting in jail, they look out for me. Ones who need me, no saying ones who doubted me. I been handling my own, they can vouch for me. They'll wait down with me, know that she proud of me. Turn the heat up, ain't nobody hot as me. Everywhere dollars be, that's how I gotta be. I didn't give her the word, now she not leaving. Said she love me, the just told her stop breathing. Try to do what I do, but we not even. women, I want all of the beef. I am not speaking, boy, you said it was smooth. Not speaking, Vincent, don't drop the top. I can't stop speeding. Trying to see if this bitch hit the top speed. Hit it from the back, yeah, but not me, baby. I control the rock. If the rap slow, I control the block. Yeah, I'm really it. And you not. Got a couple coups. I can draw the top. I done made it. Got all these digits coming in. I'm saving for the bigger picture. No one day I need them. Might as well get used to me. My biggest fear is ending up where you should be. Yeah, my dynasty TV. They don't want to see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm young, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay all my dues. No instruction, ain't talking about lyrics. I be walking on BCs, you hearing me. I just feel that my kids real big of me. They can't get rid of me. My dynasty TV. They don't want to see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I'm young, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay all my dues. No instruction, ain't talking about lyrics. I be walking on BCs, you hearing me. I just feel that my kids real big of me. They can't get rid of me.
We are having a late arriving crowd. Tell you, with the students out of school now,
Yeah.
I think
Nobody
we're
here.
gonna be- yeah, we're going to be a little bit thin, I think. Okay,
Rockbusters will start. We'll kick off to start today's game.
Garden must have won the toss and deferred.
Leo Marini to kick off for the Busters.
What number? 80 what?
Back to receive for the Red Ravens, Isaiah Wright and Dorian Lewis.
Welcome back to Bronkbuster Stadium here as we're set to kick this one off. Garden City will be kicking to the Red Ravens. Garden City in their all-black uniforms, yellow helmets. They'll be moving left to right on your radio dial. Red Ravens in the white tops with the red pants, and here's the kick. This one a low squib kick, lands about the 30, taking about the 25, up the middle, big 33 with it, still rumbling on his feet, up across the 40 to about the 42-yard line before he's brought down, and that's where the Ravens will take over. That's Carando Gobin. He's a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore.
He don't
running the
look
ball
like
there.
185
I
pounds.
don't know that
He looked
that
like
is
a human
correct.
bowling ball.
I mean, he is he's a
big kid.
square man.
Yes.
Square man. Brings the ball. So the Red Ravens will have the ball first and 10. Ball spotted on the 41-yard line. That'd be on the near hash for Garden City.
Aaron, he's Ferrante Cutler.
Okay.
He's 5'11", 280 pounds.
Okay, I'm going to have to get away from this schedule. I'm going to have to go to the. I'm going to have to go to the old internet here, and get my roster, because that's my roster. Like I said, my roster shows.
I mean, I can't believe it. 200.
There he is. No, he is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I guess I can't believe it after seeing him.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Prattville, Alabama, for Friantes. We had an injured player back at about the 25 for Red Ravens. They help him off. I believe that's Isaiah Wright, wide receiver out of Panama, Florida, that was injured on the play. Red Ravens will come out the first series here in the first quarter.
Lang High at quarterback.
Lang High at quarterback. They'll send one receiver split to the left. Two backs stand behind Lang High. Lang High brings the man in motion, turns around, hands off to the second man through, hit at the line of scrimmage, stacked up by the Garden City defense, driven back, lost a yard. They're going to spot the ball at the 40. That'll bring up 2nd and 11.
Star Thomas, the ball carrier.
That's a good way for the Garden City defense to start out. Let's see, who was the tackle? I think the tackle is number 90.
Loss of one of the play.
Number 90 made the first.
I was going to say, there was a bunch of guys in there. They stood him up and hit him.
He made the first contact, so.
Red Ravens break the huddle and come out. One man to the right, one to the left. Two backs stand beside Lang High to his left. Lang High in the shotgun formation. Calls out the play. Takes a look now. Here's the snap over. Looks to throw over the right-hand side. Got a man. Throws behind him. Had an open receiver at about the 50-yard line, and that pass was just delivered behind him. Intended receiver, I believe, was Wilson, 6'1" freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee.
See how they gash that seam every time. I mean,
Yep, you called that.
if you don't drop your linebacker and get in the way of that pass, they're going to gash you.
Red Ravens face their first third down, 3rd and 11 here as they break the huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Laying high, 1 back, stands beside him to his right in the shotgun formation. Laying high barks out the signals and takes a snap. Laying high looks to fire, fires over man, finds the tight end at about the 45-yard line. He's immediately brought down, gains a yard after the catch, but that's not going to be enough for the first down, so that'll bring up 4th and about 5 for the Red Ravens, and they look like they're going to punt.
Donovan Bailey was at the other end of that laying high pass. He's only 6'7" of about 260.
I'm telling you, size is right.
I mean, they got some big athletes on this team.
Skylar Seagraves to put it away for the Red Ravens.
Seagraves will punt this one away. Looks like Kamar LeBourne, wide receiver, back to return this punt. Snaps back, punts off. High end over end punt. It's going to be taken, bounces at about the 16-yard line. Garden City bounce, going to be down to there for the Red Ravens, and Garden City will take over 1st and 10 with the ball on about the 16-yard line.
So, Aaron, it's going to be interesting to see what Garden does offensively, because I'll tell you what, they've been pretty predictable the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Garden City comes out. Starting quarterback for Garden City, Mike Irwin, 6'1", 200-pound redshirt sophomore out of Sherwood, Oregon, transfer from Oregon. He'll be in charge of the Garden City offense today. Stands in shotgun formation, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Here's the snap. Pass from Irwin, good outside, and then immediately brought down for a loss as that pass was completed to Chris Smith, but Chris Smith immediately brought down out here. Good job fighting through it by the cornerback. I believe that was number 3 on the stop, Jacob Proche.
That was a heck of a play by Proche. What he did is he basically fought through the block and threw him for a 2-yard loss. Outstanding play by the cornerback.
That'll bring up 2nd and about 12 for Garden City. Irwin, shotgun formation, 2 backs, 1 receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Irwin takes the ball. Here's a handoff left, runner over the left side, looking for some room outside. Not there. Going to be brought down again for another loss as he was hitting the backfield. I believe that was Gantz on the call there. Excuse me, that's not. I'm right. I got to get the right sheet here. I think that was LeBourne on the carry for Garden City.
Loss of 4 on the play. It'll bring a 3rd down and long for the 9-yard line.
Tell you what, we're going the wrong way here.
We are. 3rd and 17 for Garden City. Irwin sends a man in motion. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Here's the snap. Irwin rolls out to his left, looking downfield, fires one downfield towards the sideline. Got a man on about the 25. They're going to say it was a catch. And that will bring him within a yard. Simmons on the reception from Irwin. So that one's 16 yards. They needed 17. Let's see where they're marking it. Yep, they're going to mark it just barely short. See if they want to measure this, John.
Yeah, I don't know if they would. You know what they're waiting for is I think they're waiting on making a decision on whether they want to go for this or not. Personally, I wouldn't go for it. But
yeah, it's pretty early in the game, and you're pretty deep in your own territory right here, and they're going to punt.
I think that's a wise choice. Unfortunately, the play clock has gone down to 11 seconds, so they're going to have to call timeout here.
So the Broncbusters set to punt this one away. Play clock down to 4, 3, 2, 1, and they'll have to call a timeout. And Coach Minnick is not happy on the sideline. So Garden City with the timeout here.
I don't think I've seen Coach Minnick that mad all season.
You know, in that first possession right there, the first 3 plays all for a loss.
Yeah.
And then finally get the pass, the 16-yard pass out here, needed 17. Irwin, rolled out to his left, showed a lot of poise and confidence back there, and fired that one away.
Yeah, it was a great pass and catch. The thing about it is that Garden City, they talk about how you set up the pass with the run. I think we have to do opposite, because I think once we can gash them a couple times with the pass, they're going to have to start respecting it, And then that's when we can open up some running lanes.
Well, Irwin, 1,249 yards and 15 touchdowns as a senior in high school.
Yep.
And, he can hurt you on the ground, too. 563 yards and 8 scores, on the ground. But Garden City will have to punt it away their first possession of the game. As they wait, still waiting.
Huh.
Looks like back deep is, how'd you say that a minute ago, Prochet?
Prochet.
Prochet.
Yep.
I thought I got that
This
right.
is one of those situations where it's a good thing it's spring because this wouldn't happen in fall. There have been so many delays and stoppages of play this season. You're wondering what on earth is going on? Is the TV, or is this game on TV? Are we waiting for a commercial break, or what are we doing?
Well, there's something right there. Number 7 was lined up at the corner out here, and then the official pointed to the sidelines, and he had to come off. I don't know if we had equipment issues or something, but he had to come off. So Garden City set to punt this away as they get a foot into it. That not a very good punt, headed out of bounds, bounces at the 50. Going to get a great roll, though, and finally down at about the 39-yard line, as I thought I didn't think that one was going to be a very good punt, and great roll.
Well, that punt looked like it had been shot, and then fortunately it came down and bounced our way. So he got a little bit more yards. I'd say he got about 12 more yards just on that roll.
That's what I was going to check, bring up the stats here and see if I could.
We got that big fullback in there.
So here they come back out Coffeyville with their second. 1st and 10, send a man in motion, wide receiver split to the right. Motion man sets up now on the left-hand side, quarterback under center. Quarterback takes a snap, turn, here's a pitch, running off the right-hand side. Outside, got some room to run up across the 45 to about the 46-yard line is Jackson.
Now, their lead running back's name is Star Thomas, and he didn't get the start today. So I'm wondering what's up with that. Courtney Jackson, though, he's a good player as well. They usually do the running back by committee, and I think tonight we're going to see a little bit of that.
That'll bring up 2nd and 2, the ball on the 46-yard line. Last play, they picked up 8. Here's a man in motion. Again, wide receiver split out to the right. Man comes in motion now, stops at the left, out wide past the hash. Ball on the far side hash. Here's the drop back pass. Quarterback looking for room. In trouble. Finally weaves his way through a man. Does get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe picks up a yard on that as Garden City's defense was in the backfield and given Lang High all he wanted back there.
Mark Robinson made the initial penetration, and he got a hand on him, just didn't bring him down. The quarterback, Lang High, broke out of it and ended up scrambling for a yard gain.
So Red Ravens pick up 1 on the Lang High scramble. Brings up 3rd and about, I'm going to call it 2. 3rd and 2 here for the Red Ravens. Red Ravens come out, one receiver in the slot, comes in motion. Lang High, the quarterback, under center.
They're going to go wide.
Here's a handoff to the second man through. Hit it to the line of scrimmage, bounces off and gets it, breaks a tackle, still on his feet up, picks up the first down. Again, Garden City had him wrapped up, or had him in the backfield.
And he just flat
And Jackson just flat knocked us on the ground.
Yeah. Why are they marking the ball that far back?
Well, they're going to get, I don't know. Boy, yeah.
Oh,
I thought they had a
have,
first down.
yeah.
Now they're going to move the chains. They'll say, I thought he had the first down. Now they move the chains on the far side. So the first down for the Red Ravens today. Red Ravens now 1st and 10. Ball spotted just shy of the 50-yard line. Lang High, we got movement up on the line of scrimmage, and that'll back them up 5.
You know, the thing about the teams that have run against Garden, they usually have success going outside. I think that time, you're running up the middle, I felt like, we had stopped them behind the line of scrimmage, but, it was just pure will of that guy that he knocked the tackler over and he ended up getting the first down. We should have had him, though.
I was going to say, Courtney Jackson, good runner. He's one that, you can't hit him up high. And that's what Garden City did there. Here's Lang High under center. One receiver to the right, one to the left in the slot. Lang High under center, takes a snap, turns around, fakes the handoff, drops back looking to pass over the right-hand side. Got a man knocked away by number 24 for Garden City. Darville knocked that one away.
Cortez Wilson was the intended receiver, and he kind of slipped and fell, and we very well could have got the interception on that. That was a nice defensive play by us.
So that'll bring up second and about 15. Red Ravens break the huddle. They send one receiver to the right, two to the left, one man in the backfield with Langhigh in the shotgun formation. Ball spotted on about the 44. Here's a handoff to the first only back, and that's Jackson. Jackson wrapped up immediately and dropped. Might have gained a yard, half a yard. That'll bring up third and long, third and about
Jackson
16.
Didn't break away.
Right, yeah, they had him there for sure. I wasn't for sure who was on the tackle, but a good job by that left side of the Bronc Buster defense to bring Jackson down in the backfield. Matter of fact, going to lose about two. Going to back him up to about, this will be 3rd and 17 coming up.
You know, Aaron, one of the consistent things about Garden City this spring has been their defense. Their defense is of high quality.
Jackson averaging 49.5 yards a game. He's rushed for 198 yards in the 4 games that he's played. Here's the snap, laying high, drops back, looking to pass, in trouble, got a man, finally going to bring him down at about the 38-yard line. Big sack by the Bronc Busters. Number 9, that's Abrams Verwain, Abrams Verwain, defensive end at 6'3", 235, sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia, with the sack, and that'll bring up 4th and 20.
Boy, it sure looked like a hold by their right tackle. Oh, my gosh.
So Garden City defense coming up strong after giving up a first down. They've got them back almost to the original line of scrimmage when they started this drive. That'll force the Red Ravens to have to punt. Here's the snap back. Punt on the way. Good, nice, high, booming punt. Going to be taken at about the 10. Retreats back to the 5-yard line now, looking for something to do. Makes his way, worms, breaks a tackle, and finally knocked out of bounds for Garden City.
My goodness, that was a terrific punt.
Yep, LeBourne did what he could there to move the ball forward, and he's going to pick up about 7 on the punt return.
I'll tell you, of all the punters I've seen this year, that kid
does a nice job, doesn't he? It's kind of a running rugby-style punt. I think he can do a lot of things out of that if he wanted to. So
not a very big kid either.
No. Garden City will get the ball back here, 1st and 10 for their second possession. Spotted on about the 19-yard line. Irwin, the quarterback, turns, hands off, second man through, men at the line of scrimmage, still fights forward, can't get anything, maybe gain about half a yard is LeBourne.
Tackle made by Devin Lee.
Absolutely nothing there. Our whole right side got whipped by Coffeyville's defense.
Sometimes it's hard to keep these. You know, it's what it just. I've looked down this roster 2 or 3 times. I think there's 2 or 3 of each number. That's confusing.
I know it is.
Garden City comes out here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Irwin in the shotgun formation. Brings a man in motion, hands off. Here's a pitch to LeBourne. LeBourne running off the left-hand side, tries to cut it back immediately and dropped by number 44. That's Nana Awe, the defensive lineman out of Hampton, Georgia, that's going to bring LeBourne down for, looks like maybe lost a few.
You know, it's the same story as it's been all year. Our offense just puts our defense in terrible position.
Well, here we are again, 3rd and 14. We were there a minute ago. We needed, last play we had 3rd and 17, needed 17. We got 16. So we'll see what Garden City does here at 3rd and 14. I would take a gain of 16 right here.
Yes.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Irwin shotgun formation, brings a man in motion. Irwin now sets up. Waits, now gets the pass, drops back, steps up in the pocket, in trouble. Irwin tries to run, gets up across the 15, going to be brought down to about the 16, gain a yard on the play, but that's not enough. That'll bring up 4th and about 14 here for the Busters, and they'll have to punt again.
Aaron, it looks like anytime we go wide, we're not going to. I mean, they just flat out have speed, and they're going to speed. They're going to speed right to our ball carrier, and I mean, we can't do anything about it.
Not to second guess him there, John, but I was thinking that they probably tried to get Irwin out of the pocket right there, but they left him in the pocket, and Irwin did all he could as that pocket collapsed in a hurry.
And I think they had a corner blitz on that too.
Here's a high hanging punt, almost blocked, going to be taken, fair caught at about the 42-yard line of the Red Ravens, and the Red Ravens will start 1st and 10 with the ball in their own territory here. Garden City losing the field position battle in a hurry.
Big time.
We'd also like to thank our concession stand, the esports team, who are national champions for running our concession stand.
Garden City 0 for 2 on 3rd downs so far. Garden City only has 32 yards of offense. Excuse me, that's punt return. 32 yards punt returns. Red Ravens come out. Good field position. As they turn around, hand it to the first man, Fu, and he is leveled. Nice tackle in there by
Cuts.
I believe that's Cuts. Raymond Cuts, defensive tackle, 6'3", 270 out of Orlando, Florida. Met the running back in the hole, drove him back. They're going to say no gain. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 here.
What's that old adage? For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction.
Yeah.
I believe that paid.
So the Red Ravens come out here, 2nd and 10. They'll send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Langhai will stand in the shotgun formation, now brings a man in motion. Langhai has trouble with the snap, finally gets it, now hands off over to the right-hand side. Guy still on his feet, moving around over there on the far side, across the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. So that's going to be a good gain by the Red Ravens. O'Shea Hill on the carry for the Red Ravens. Going to be brought down over there on the far side by, I believe, Darius Johnson, the defensive tackle.
If you get one of those scat back type players or a scat back type receiver, you get them out in open space, and it's hard to get those little boogers down.
That'll bring up 3rd and 4 here. Ball spotted on the 36-yard line of Garden City. Laying high, shotgun formation again. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Here's a pitch outside. A lot of room to run across the 30, down to the 25. Still on his feet, finally drugged down at about the 25.5-yard line of Garden City. So that'll move the chains for the Red Ravens.
And once again, you're seeing their running back by committee because now they're bringing in Dorian Lewis running. And they probably have their specialty, one up the gut, one on the outside. We've yet to see Star Thomas, so they may be softening us up for him.
Yeah, maybe. So 1st and 10 for the Red Ravens. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Langhai looks over the Garden City defense, now under center. Langhai barks out the signals, takes a snap, drops back, looks to pass, tries to find a man, fault, throws that one high. That pass intended, I believe, for number 43, which is William Dennis. That pass out of his reach, the 6'4", 240-pound redshirt freshman out of Shawnee, Kansas. Couldn't bring that one in. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Red Ravens. And, I mean, in that position, why not? Why not try to drop back and throw that pass?
Ferrante's back in. Big fullback, 280 pounds, from Alabama.
Got the short pants on. Almost look like shorts out there.
Yeah, he looks like he's got his Bermudas on.
Got his Bermuda shorts on. Man goes in motion towards the right. Here is the 4 called Mr. Cutler. Friante brought down.
By Cuts.
Cutler, the ball carrier, brought down by Raymond Cuts.
He'll gain maybe a half a yard on the carry. That'll bring up 3rd and about 9.5.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from the 26-yard line.
So Garden City's defense have been the bright spot so far. As the Red Ravens break the huddle and come out, 1 receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Langhai, the quarterback again, under center. Looks over the Bronc-Buster defense. Barks out the snap, now drops back, fakes the handoff, looks to pass, looking towards his right, now back to his left, fires one, he got a man in the end zone, knocked down at the last minute. Good defense back there by Garden City as that pass was knocked out of the way by Davis.
Antoine Davis on the coverage.
Antoine
once
Davis.
again,
Go ahead.
Our defense, I mean, they come up big. You know, our offense just can't keep putting our defense in this position, though, because sooner or later, teams take care of that. I mean, you know, teams are destined to score 2 touchdowns. The question is our offense destined to score 2 touchdowns?
Well, here's something I don't see very often. Again, you go back to my history as a broadcaster. I broadcast a lot of 8-man football in Oklahoma in my career, and so field goals are not real good, but the Red Ravens are going to attempt a field goal here. Again, the ball spotted on about the 26-yard line. Kicks up in the air, and not enough, as that one is wide right. So the kick will be no good. Garden City will take over 1st and 10 at about the 26. They'll have the ball at their own 26-yard line, and again, hoping they can get this Brunkbuster offense rolling.
If we were playing Frisbee tag, he would have nailed the play clock with his Frisbee. Oh, it was a football. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Tell you, kick was ugly coming off the ground.
Yeah, it was.
So Garden City needing to get some offense going here. They've yet to move the ball past the yard line. Even no first downs. Only. Well, anyway, what I was trying to say. here's a pass. That one completed over to the left-hand side. Still on his feet, moving up past the 30. Going to get up to about the 32-yard line.
Looks like he caught Coffeyville. A little bit of a zone defense. LeBourne sat down in one of the crevices and got an easy pass.
And that is the end of the first quarter.
I believe that was LeBourne, and that'll do it for the first quarter. So after the first 15 minutes of play, both teams scoreless, 0-0. We're going to take a 60-second break, and then we'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Brunkbuster Football here on 99.9 The Rock. Welcome back to Brunkbuster Stadium here on the campus of Garden City Community College. Garden City with the ball here to start the second quarter of play. Again, Garden City yet to gain a first down in this ball game. Here's a handoff over the left-hand side. On his way across the 40, 50, one man to beat at the 40, steps back, breaks out, finally knocked out of bounds at about the 26-yard line for Garden City. Just as soon as I said it, it happened as Jordan Ford took the ball.
I'll tell you what, a great run by Jordan Ford. You know, Jordan, I mean, he's had a lot of success this spring. The one thing people don't know is what a nice kid he is. He's a great kid. So,
Atlanta, Georgia, Notre Dame High School.
Yeah, such a nice kid. You love to see kids have success like that.
So Garden City with their first down of the game now inside, just outside the red zone. Here's a pass to LeBourne. LeBourne over inside down to about the 20, going to pick up about 5. They're going to spot him just shy of the 20-yard line. So a gain of about 4 on the pitch and catch for Garden City.
So you're starting to see the in-game switching here where now we're going to let go of the ball, get somebody out in open space quick, and kind of neutralize their rush. Because right now, they got their ears pinned back on us.
Garden City comes out, 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Man comes in motion. Here's a handoff. This one moving over the right-hand side and immediately Howard breaks through 20-10 down to the corner of the end zone. Is he in? A touchdown, Garden City. As LeBourne takes the ball over the right-hand side, looked like he was hit and stopped, stayed on his feet and kept going for a Garden City touchdown.
Tell you what, Aaron, that was nice to see. I mean, they did a good job kind of mixing pass with run. Guess what? The pass set up the run on both those plays.
So Garden City with the touchdown, Joe Carroll on for the PAT. Ball's down, kicks up, That one's good. Extra point good by Carroll. So Garden City here with 13:45 left to go here in the second quarter takes the lead 7-0 on the first score. And again, lots of first in that drive, John. First down, first good long pass with a good run. And, lots of good first and then the first touchdown of the game.
Well, the nice thing is that, the offense is off the snide now. I feel like, they've seen that they can have a little bit of success. There were some good in-game adjustments with going to that quick pass to the outside, getting an elusive receiver out and open. That kind of neutralizes the rush and the blitzes that they're coming off of the side with. So I think a really good drive, a really good response.
Up until that drive right there, all of Garden City's rushers were in the negative except for Mike Irwin. Mike Irwin had 1 carry for 1 yard, but LeBourne had -3. Jordan Ford had -2.5. So Garden City's offense figuring something out right there, and again, able to take the ball down and score as we get ready to Garden City going to kick this one back off to the Red Ravens.
Thomas and Dorian Lewis to return.
2-man pack for the Red Ravens. As Carroll puts a foot in this one. High end over end kick. This one's going to bounce at about the 3 and go through the end zone out of bounds. So that'll be a touchback, and the Red Ravens will have the ball 1st and 10.
Good kick. Good kick.
Good spot.
Yep.
Like to see, that's the thing, though, as a coach, sometimes you'd like to see a little longer drive. I'm not complaining about scoring right there, but yet sometimes you'd like to see maybe a little bit longer drive to get your defense some air. I mean, this defense has been out there for a long time.
Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, and on the flip side of that, after watching the last 3 games, I'd just like to have a drive.
Yeah. Garden City went 73 yards in 4 plays on that scoring drive. As again, now we're back. Lang High under center. Man in motion. Here's a handoff. Second man through, jumps over the pile, and then he's met. Going to gain about 2.5, bring the ball up to about the 27.5-yard line in Garden City territory.
Sarah Thomas, ball carrier. Gain of 3 on the play.
Gain of 3 for the Red Ravens.
Down to 7.
Yep, that was Star Thomas.
So Thomas is in the ball game now.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 7 here, ball on the 28-yard line. Thomas in the ball game. 1 receiver in the slot to the right, 1 split to the left. Garden City showing blitz here. They bring the heat. Here he comes. Here's one laid back, and again, Lang High's pass just off the mark as he was trying to find Isaiah Taylor across the middle, and that one just out of the reach of Taylor, couldn't get to it.
You know what? And the thing about it is that I know we're playing outside or inside leverage. So, for us to still get beat on that pattern it's a little bit disconcerting.
Lang High, if he's had his arm ready, he's just missing open receivers.
Oh,
today.
yeah. And that one was on that receiver pretty doggone quick. So
here's Lang High from the shotgun formation. Screen pass out to the left-hand side. Complete. Brought down, though, maybe a gain of 1. That's going to bring up 4th and about 7 for the Red Ravens. Is good job there by the Bronkbuster defense to swarm around the screen pass and shut them down.
I'll tell you what, once again, our defense is just, they do everything for us.
Yeah.
Skylar Seagraves to punt it away for the Red Ravens.
I wonder how many kids are going to go on and play at a 4-year school after this because, there are a lot of good players out there.
I agree, yeah. Of course, the defensive coordinator, Jerry Dominguez,
does a great job.
First year. Spent 14 years as defensive coordinator at Arizona West. 14 shutouts in his career. And here's the punt.
He does
Another
a fantastic
high end over end punt's going to hit at about the 40. You have a Garden City bounce again and roll out of bounds at about the 43-yard line.
We got a flag down. Might be a delayed game.
41-yard line. There is a flag on the play.
Or it might be we had too many men on the field.
Maybe. Officials going to meet there at midfield and talk about it. It's called over on the right-hand side, Garden City sideline side.
I got to tell you, that's probably too many men on the field, I bet. Yeah, I don't like the way they're walking right now. Garden City hasn't set their offense or defense out. They don't know.
Right, yeah, not sure. what to send out.
We got to ask Liker what he wants to do. He wants to re-kick or
back him up, yeah.
Illegal substitution.
Yep.
Defense, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
So there you go, Garden City with too many men on the field, so that'll back them up. We'll have to re-kick this one. Garden City is kicking into the wind here. Kind of a swirling wind if you look at the goalpost.
I'll tell you what, it's a real light wind, too.
Yeah.
It's, it's a beautiful night.
My wind meter's still showing 15 mile an hour.
Ball to the 33-yard line for the Red Ravens. It'll bring up 4th down and 2.
You know what's impressive, Aaron, is you got everything on your watch there. I like that.
I know. If I could just read it. It's tiny. That's about the only thing I use my watch for, though, is the weather. It's like, how hot is it outside? What's the wind doing? So the Red Ravens will repunt after the illegal substitution. Might watch for a fake here, as it's only 4th and 2, excuse me, after the penalty. Here's a snap, foot into it, line drive punt, going to hit about the 30. Take a Red Raven bounce back to about the 20, picked up at the 20. LeBurn looking for room to run across the 30 out. Now the ball's popped out, and the Red Ravens recover. LeBorn had the return. He brought the ball up to about the 34, and a good job by the Red Ravens to get a hand in there and pop that one out. And I was about to say the penalty's not really going to hurt Garden City, and then the ball came out.
You know, this is another thing that's been a bugaboo all year.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Coffeyville. 1st down, Coffeyville.
Has been a bugaboo. It's either our offense or our special teams that gets our defense in trouble. I mean, it seems like whenever our defense goes out there, I would say maybe 5 out of 10 times our back's against the wall.
First turnover of the game for Garden City. They're going to do it deep in their own territory. Red Ravens will have the ball 1st and 10 on the Garden City 30. Ball spotted on the near hash. Lang High, the quarterback, 2 backs behind him, 1 receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Lang High under center. Lang High turns around, hands off to the second man through. He's hit, brought down at about the 33-yard line. Going to gain 3. That'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Dar Thomas.
Thomas getting up maybe just a little bit gimpy right there.
3 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 from the 27-yard line.
It's like maybe he's got an ankle bothering him or something.
Yeah, and that may have been why he didn't start tonight. But I'll tell you what, Coach Liker, he's doing everything by committee. Mm-hmm. And the great thing is these kids are getting a good look here in the spring. And so you kind of got to like that, what he's doing. Coach Mink's doing the same thing with his kids, too, I think.
Lang High brings a man in motion. Turns around, hands off to Thomas. Thomas steps back inside, hit, pushes forward another yard, might have gained about a half a yard.
He looks like one of those runners that it's not going to take 1 hit. It's going to take about 2 hits to really put him down on the ground because he absorbs that first hit pretty good.
Star Thomas, 6 foot, 220 freshman out of Helmier, Louisiana, Helmier High School. 293 yards on the season. He averages 73.3 yards and 6 touchdowns a game. Or maybe that's 6 touchdowns on the season. I guess I should learn to read my stats. Red Ravens 3rd and 7 here. Ball on the 27-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. 2 backs stand behind Lang High under center. Garden City showing some pressure. They bring it off the corner. Lang High back to pass, fires. Got a hold in there, and a man. The pass is through the hands of number 43. But like John said, we've got a flag back at about the 46-yard line. That pass intended for William Dennis.
Holding, number 54, offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Just like Coach Ford called it right there, holding in the backfield again. Garden City with a good push. They were showing blitz, and they brought the house.
They came with I think they came with an outside linebacker blitz that time.
Yep. That's Christian Furman, the 6'2", 235-pound sophomore out of Queen Creek, Arizona, that came on the blitz.
He's had a wonderful year.
So laying high now, have two receivers to the right, one to the left. Stands in shotgun formation. Star Thomas stands just to his left. Laying high takes a snap, drops back, looking to pass. Now finds Star Thomas out in the open, and Thomas can bring that one in as Garden City goes and jumps on it, thinking that could have been a lateral. Rodriguez screaming. Garden City wants, Dominguez wanting Garden City to take it to the house there, as I think he might have had a justification. The officials didn't call it, but I thought that was.
Tell you what, it did look like a lateral. From
sure
where
did
we're
look like
at.
a lateral.
It's a good thing that Star Thomas didn't catch that because he had a guy bearing down on
that
his
might
ribs.
be a reason, yeah. So that'll bring up 4th and 17 for the Red Ravens. Again, Red Ravens started that with tremendous field position back on the 30-yard line after the fumble by Garden City, and unable to do anything with it. Here's a high pooch punt. That one going to land at about the 10. Slow down and into the end zone for a touchback. As the Red Ravens had two guys down there, they just couldn't get it brought down. So Garden City will dodge a bullet there, and they'll take over here with 10:37 left to go in the first half. And the ball on their own 20-yard line.
I think that ball kind of fooled both of those Red Raven special team players because it looked like they had a beat on it, and then all of a sudden the ball bounced a different way, and they just looked like they were hung out to dry on that. So they were hustling, they were doing their job, but it just the bounce of the ball, which is fortunate for Garden.
So Garden City's offense again last series, they 4 plays and 73 yards to the end zone. See if they can do something again, put a drive together. As again, here's a snap, got a free play man off, and we're going to be intercepted over at about the 20 down to the 15-yard line on the far side. But again, offsides on the Red Ravens will give Garden City 5 yards as they had a free opportunity there.
And I don't care if it's a free play or not. Irwin should have never thrown that ball.
Right.
That was a horrible pass.
Well, and normally, and of course, I'm an Oklahoma State guy. You gotta think, most college football I watch is Oklahoma State. Gundy would have threw that one, or tried to throw that one about the 10-yard line on the other end of the field. I mean, that's just an Oklahoma City play right there. Oklahoma State play. If you get a free play, everybody's running a fly pattern down the field. So that'll bring up 1st and 5 here after the penalty on the Red Ravens. 10:30 left to go here in the first half. Irwin in shotgun formation. Here's a handoff, moving over the left-hand side, out across the 25, now the 30, 35, looking for room to run down the sideline, shoved out of bounds at about the, see where they're going to spot this one. It's going to be a first down, shoved out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. So good gain there by
Jordan Ford
again.
And here's a great thing. The wideout.
Great block.
Damus did a great job chicken blocking for him.
Yep.
I mean, he drove his man at least 5-6 yards down the field, which was terrific.
So Garden City 1st and 10, ball on the 41-yard line. Irwin shotgun formation, drops back. Here's a handoff. Ford again, running off the left-hand side. Juke move, steps up, gets close to the 45. Going to be brought down about the 44-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 4 for the Bronc Busters. And that's kind of what that's kind of what I want to see here. Give the defense time to catch a break. They're down here getting rehydrated and getting a chance to catch their air. So you kind of want to see a drive put together here by Garden City. 2nd and 7, ball on the 44. Irwin again, shotgun formation. Ford stands to his right. Irwin takes a snap, another free play, fires this one across the middle, incomplete. But again, offsides over here on the right side by the Red Ravens defense. Will give Garden City another 5 yards. That's going to make it 2nd and about 2.
Okay, there again, Aaron, we look at Irwin, who, again has a free play, and he airmails a receiver.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to hit him in the chest.
You can't do that. I mean, that's, if you want to be successful in football, you can't do that.
Garden City breaks the huddle again. 2nd and 2 after the penalty. Second penalty on the Red Ravens today in this drive. 2 receivers to the right, 2 back stand next to Irwin in the shotgun formation. Irwin takes a snap, turns around. Here's Ford running off left-hand side. He's got the first down across the 50 into Red Ravens territory down to about the 48-yard line. Should be enough to move the chains.
Brought down by Mele Anyanwu.
That will move the chains
That was
for Garden
Hodges.
City. Yep, I
That
believe
was
it was
Hodges.
Hodges.
It's a 3-yard gain, which is good for another Blockbuster.
I'll tell you what, our two little backs, Ford and Hodges, I mean, they are warriors out there. They get beat to death every single game, but they still carry the mail, man.
Hodges checks out. Ford checks in. Here's Ford running off across the 50, down close to the 45 where he's hit and brought down.
Jordan Ford, the ball carrier.
So Jordan Ford going to gain about 2. That'll bring up second about 8. And we've got a timeout.
Got an injury, and it's not good.
Red Raven down on the field here at midfield. Yep, looks like a left knee.
Yeah. Hate to see that happen.
Yeah, you do.
That's the one drawback of this game is, boy, some of the injuries are.
Well, you're right, the injuries here, but too, let's talk about the season. Coach Minnick and I talked about that earlier in the week. We are closing in on the end of football season, and these kids are only going to have 6 weeks before they get to be back and report to get ready for next year.
Yeah.
So, sometimes just a little simple injury that you think, well, I've got the off season to get over it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be pushed to get to that.
On.
Yeah,
it's gonna linger,
and it could cost you, a lot more time. So, again, looks like we could be here for a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a 60-second break, and then we'll come back here to Bronc-Buster Stadium. Garden City on top, 7-0, 8:30 left to play in the ball game. Let's take a 60-second break. About the time I get up.
Yeah, I think. I'll tell you what, he's kind of walking a little bit easier now. Still needs help. You pray for that kid. Hope he's going to be okay.
It'll bring up second down and 8 from the 46-yard line.
Welcome back to Bronc-Buster Stadium here on the campus of Garden City Community College as Irwin fires one out to the left-hand side for a completed pass. Garden City picks up about 5. That'll bring up third down and about 5 for the Bronc-Busters. Good drive so far for the black and gold.
Got a timeout.
Now we got a timeout.
Can't win for losing here, man.
Well, told John just about the time it took the 60 a minute ago, the player got up and he was able, with help, he did get off the field. The injured player just a second ago was Iowana, the defensive lineman, 6'6", 240 out of Hampton, Georgia, was the player that was injured for the Red Ravens. Garden City here with this timeout. And again, this is kind of what I like to see, John. I mean, just a slow drive, moving the ball, positive yardage, 3rd and about 3 coming up here for Garden City. They've been able to get that on the ground, except for in that first drive where they couldn't get anything positive.
As Hank Stram said, you just kind of matriculate down the field.
That's right. That's right. That's a good analogy. That's what, when I played high school football, that was our coach's philosophy. 5 yards in a cloud of dust. We wanted to run the ball between the tackles, and that's what we did. As a fullback, I appreciated that. So here we go, 3rd and about 3 here. Ball on the Red Raven 41, spotted on the near hash. Garden City comes out of the timeout. 2 receivers split to the right. Irwin in the shotgun formation. Now we've got a whistle on the other side. Timeout, Red Ravens. They want to talk about.
There was a little bit of confusion with the defense.
I think so.
Garden City came out in a formation I don't think Coffeyville has seen. It'll be interesting to see if Garden City starts working the middle a little bit with their passing, because you know sooner or later on that outside pass they're going to undercut that.
Right.
And so, I mean, you don't want to get into a habit of just always going out there and assuming that receiver's going to be open, because he's not. What you might want to do is maybe fake to that receiver and get a receiver slashing down the middle.
No shots taken deep yet. I mean, they've all been within, 15, 20 yards of Irwin. Garden City hadn't tried to get anybody down the field yet.
I think Irwin's been more of a game manager so far.
Right. So here we come out of the timeout. 3rd and 3, Garden City. Ball on the 41-yard line of the Red Ravens. Both teams out on the field ready to go, but we got to spend our Michael Jackson time.
If it ain't a timeout, it's
Don't
Michael Jackson.
cut the king of pop. Irwin, shotgun formation, brings a man in motion over to his right. Now sets up. Here's Irwin, rolls out to his right, looking to pass downfield. Got time, fires a strike at about the 28-yard line. So Garden City, that'd be Irwin to LeBourne for the first down. Moves the ball down inside again about the 29-yard line. Hard to tell who's on the far side.
I've been a critic of Garden City's offense all year. But I got to tell you, that was a good play. First of all, you get Irwin out from around that rush. And secondly, I mean, you flood aside with receivers. One's bound to be open, and he hit the open receiver for a nice gain and a first down.
I like Irwin on the run. I mean, he's looking really good on the run.
He does a good job.
Garden City going to go 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Irwin shotgun formation. Hodges stands next to him to his left. Here's Irwin, drops back, steps up in the pocket, fires one over about the 20 and knocked away. That pass was intended over there on the left-hand side for Jamin.
Mike Orthman is not happy about that play. I don't know what was wrong with it, but he wasn't happy. I thought that the defender made a nice play.
He did, and I thought, the receiver spot down here, but again, I think we're fixing to see the play he wanted ran right here, because you're right. Coach wasn't happy about that one. They're going to run to the side as they bring 2 receivers split to the left here. Irwin, shotgun formation, 2nd and 10. Ball on the 29-yard line of Garden City. Here's a handoff. This time this is Ford. Ford looking for room to run. Gets out over the 30, 25, out of bounds at about the 24-yard line for Ford. Jordan Ford.
He is tremendous in the open field, isn't he?
Well, I thought they had a chance to tackle him for a loss in just a little short burst of speed, and Ford was 6 yards down the field.
He dead-legged that inside and then went outside, and woof.
Yep.
He was there. Nice little gain.
4-yard gain, 3rd and 6 now. Ball on the 25-yard line here. 6:56 left to go here in the first half of play. Again, weather kind of getting a little darker. Lights on here at Bronbuster Field. Garden City breaks the huddle. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ford stands beside Irwin. Here's the snap. Steps up, almost picked off. That pass by Irwin. Could have called and told him it was coming.
See, I mean, this is what I've been talking about all year. They get predictable. And
that pass intended for Jamin, again knocked away almost, in and out of the hands of the defender. 2 receivers thrown into double coverage over here, too. They had a guy high and a hot guy low.
Yeah, they bracketed the receiver.
Sure.
Yep.
So that'll bring up 4th and 6. Garden City going to line up to kick the field goal. Joe Carroll on, foot into it. This one carrying and is good.
Wow.
Nice kick by Joe Carroll. So that'll bring the score Garden City 10, Coffeyville 0 here with 6:28 left to go in the first half.
You know one thing, Aaron, about if I've seen any particular phase of Garden City's game improve, it's been their kicking game. Not their special teams, but their kicking. Because I think Coach Minnick got a soccer player, and I think both were pretty green kickers. And He's just progressively worked on them through the summer or the spring, and I mean they've been nails in the last couple of games.
Well, that right there was Joe Carroll's longest of the season. He kicked a 22-yarder against Highland. That was his longest of the season, and that one right there would have been 24, so he bettered by 2. Talk a little bit about Joe Carroll, 6'1", 191-pound freshman out of Grand Junction, Colorado. 2-time All-Conference, 3-time All-State academic kid. Tore his meniscus in his left knee in August of 2020. He's a 3-year starter in high school, played quarterback, so he understands the game. Threw for 342 yards as a senior and a touchdown. As Carroll puts a foot into this one, high end over end kick. Going to be taking it about the 10-yard line here on the left-hand side. Looking for room to run. Not there. Across the 20. Brought down about the 21-yard line. Good coverage by the Broncbusters.
Star Thomas.
Star Thomas on the return for the Red Ravens.
Now it'll be interesting to see what Coach Minnick does with timeouts. I mean, he's only got one left. I mean, he could. I mean, if they stop him on the first and second down here, I mean, he could think about calling that timeout just so they may get a chance at
get the ball possession. Back. Yeah, I think it kind of depends on how these first 2 downs go.
I agree.
So the Red Ravens with the ball, 1st and 10 on the on the Red Raven 22. Red Ravens come out.
God, how would you like to tackle that Cutler? Holy
Boy,
smokes.
He's
a specimen, isn't he?
He's a man.
Oh,
that's not, delay a game on the Red Ravens now, so that'll back them up another 5. So now, if you're Coach Minnick, you might start thinking about some of those timeouts here.
Yeah, exactly.
Might start thinking about pulling some of them timeouts out of your pocket and using them. So Red Ravens 1st and 15 after the penalty. Here we go.
Got a new quarterback in there.
Yep, they did. Got a sprint over. Here's a handoff out to the right-hand side across the 20 and brought down.
I think that's Bone or Bon. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
Either.
This is the one time where I wish their SID service would give us kind of a phonetic spelling on these names so that we don't butcher them. I always hate butchering a kid's name.
I'm going to go with, I think you're right. I'm going to go with Will Bond, quarterback, 6'1", 200 freshman out of Kissimmee, Florida, is what I'm going to go with.
Let's go with that then.
Bond in at quarterback. Bond in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Here's a handoff over the left-hand side, room to run out to about the 25, gets out of bounds, only going to pick up about 5 as Jackson carries the ball.
Jackson just did us a favor by running out of bounds, stops the clock, at least temporarily, until they get the ball set.
Courtney Jackson, 6'1", 215, out of Abbeville, South Carolina on the carry.
That's where we got to get off the field right here, Aaron.
5 minutes and ticking here in the first. 3rd and 7. Again, Bond brings a man in motion. 2 receivers split to the left, now 3. Bond rolls out, slips, falls, in trouble. Garden City going to get him. Bond gets the pass off, but it's incomplete. And so that will bring up 4th and 7 deep in the Red Raven territory for Garden City. Garden City going to get tremendous field position here with about 5 minutes to work.
I like LeBourne back there catching the ball, but for the punt. But I hope he wraps that ball up good and protects it if he catches it.
LeBourne again back, stands on his own 40-yard line. Punter for Coffeyville's been tremendous today is Gantz.
Ooh.
There's a high end over end kick, and just as soon as I say that, he squibs one. That's going to go out of bounds at the Garden City 41-yard line. So only about a 22, 24-yard punt.
Did you see what he did afterwards? The guy ran by him, didn't touch him at all. It was like something you see out of one of those soccer FIBA type deals where the 2 guys, they run up, they come within 5 feet of each other, and then they fall down like they've been injured. That's what he did. I mean, he didn't get hit, but the performance was outstanding. Oh, he's going to get flagged for that.
Mike Irwin, the ball carrier. Tackle made on the play by Brady and Scott. A 19-yard gain, which brings up first down and 10 for the Busters.
Hopefully we're back on the air. We lost internet connection there for just a little bit. Maybe it's the weather coming in. Here's a run by Garden City across into the red zone. Goes Jordan Ford. As again, Garden City got the ball back here with about 5 minutes to go in tremendous field position after the punt. Off of the foot of the Red Raven punter was short. Garden City then took the ball with a big run over the right-hand side with a first down, and then that run right there by Jordan Ford.
Nice RPO on that run by Irwin. Did a good job taking to the running back and then took it himself right up the middle for about 15, 20 yards.
Here's another snap. Here's handoff to Hodges. Hodges up the middle. Got room to run. Steps around a man inside the 10, down to the 5. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling inside. That'll pick up a first down. First and goal for the Bronc-Busters inside the 5-yard line with 3:23 left to go here in the first half. As again, the clouds are setting in.
This is how cagey Coach Minnick is. Hasn't used his timeout yet and they're about ready to score.
Right, yeah, still has. So Bronc-Buster first and goal here. Ball on the 5-yard line. Bronc-Busters break the huddle, send 2 receivers to the right. Irwin stands, now takes the handoff. Here's a handoff. Moving forward, this is Jordan Ford again. Ford inside down to about the 1-yard line.
He wasn't quite tall enough to reach across the goal line.
I mean, Jordan Ford, only 5'10", 180-pound sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, you don't gain anything if you bring Hodges in. He's only 5'7".
Yeah, and the thing about it is both are similar as far as the way they carry the ball and run.
Damus, on the other hand, we might give the ball to Damus. Damus is 6'2", the tight end / blocking back for Garden City. 2nd and 2, ball spotted on the 2. Irwin shotgun formation. Martez Jones stands to his left side. Here's a keeper over the left hand. That one's not going anywhere, snuffed out by the Red Ravens.
We were in the Wildcat formation that time.
Tackle made by Trayvon Stacker.
You know, we lost a kid at the beginning of the year, Xavier Peters. He was about 6'4", 250, and he would have been absolutely perfect for that play. So would have Huggins, who got injured, is a defensive star for us. And both those guys were doing the Wildcat. It's a little bit different when you go with a smaller back.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't catch that. Irwin back into the ball game now for Garden City. He brings a man in motion, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Irwin takes a snap, drops back, steps up, fires a pass. Deflected out of bounds. So that'll be incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and goal, 1:16, and I think Coach is going to want to kick the field goal here.
Good choice. Good choice. Get the points.
No timeouts used. So that'll bring us down to, if the field goal's good, Garden City will go into the locker room with a 13-point lead here. Now we've got a stoppage of the clock. Officials are meeting.
I wonder what they're talking about. I wonder if they're talking about that.
Probably where they're going for dinner.
117.
117, so they're going to add about, 13 seconds. They're going to add 13 seconds to the game clock.
Joe Carroll to attempt.
So Joe Carroll on to attempt a 3-year-old field goal. Punches this one off of the upright. Through. Good as he knocks that one in off the left-hand upright. Banks it in. Bank shot. Banks open, Coach.
Yep.
Garden City, though, goes up on top of Coffeyville. 13-0 here in the first half with 1:12 left to go. Well, you get some points out of the good field position. Would have liked to have the touchdown, but just wasn't in the cards there, I guess.
Yeah, you know the pass play that Irwin tried. You know, when you're doing a quick hitter like that, you know, I could understand it if you're 6'6" quarterback, but if you're like 6'1" or 6'2", trying to throw over those hogs in the middle, that's pretty tough to do, and it's not a high probability of success. So you wonder, hey, if we had to do that all over, you know, will we roll them out or?
Yeah, and see, I love Irwin in space. So you know that's one to me that I might have looked at too. But Garden City doing things right here after a very slow start. Garden City off to a very slow start, able to put 13 points up here in the first half. And man, you just can't say enough about the defense, as they have been a tremendous performer here in this first half. So Garden City set to kick it off. Joe Carroll going to kick it to the Red Ravens. Carroll puts a foot in it, high end over end kick again. This one chasing back, going to hit out of bounds at about the 3-yard line.
35-yard line.
So that will be, that'll give the Red Ravens 1st and 10 at the 35 here to see if they can do something in a minute and 12. On the baseball note, Tommy Pham just put the Padres on top of the Cardinals 2-0. Of course, Tommy Pham was once a St. Louis Cardinal, so I'm sure that made him feel good.
And a popular one.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a Colorado Rocky fan, and we seem to be the farm club for these other teams.
You know, appreciate Arenado. That really is good for a Cardinal guy. I really appreciate you guys sending Arenado to live in St. Louis. That's been a tremendous addition to that St. Louis lineup. Coffeyville with the ball here, 1st and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. Drops back. This is Bond in trouble, and he's going down. Bond sacked on about the 29-yard line. Going to lose about 5 or 6 as he was looking downfield. Good coverage downfield by the Broncbusters.
Boy, the offensive line just got collapsed by our defensive line, and he didn't have much of a chance, I don't think.
I mean, the guys up front, I mean, we didn't have any pressure on right there. I think, you know, it was known that they were going to try to throw downfield. Had a couple extra D-backs in there.
Yeah.
And
I think we only had 4 rushing on
Yep,
so.
We did, just 4, and all 4 of them got to him.
Yep.
Timeout on the field. Coffeyville wants to talk about this. They're going to face about about 16, it looks like. Ball on the 35-yard line here with 1:07 left to go in the first half. Talked a little bit about Coach Dominguez. Again, coming with Coach Minnick from that Arizona West. Again, his teams have pitched 14 shutouts during his time with the Matadors. Coached plenty of NFL players, including Cowboys defensive end Randy Gregory. For Arizona Western, he spent 6 years as an assistant at Northern State University, NCAA Division II. Began his coaching career at his alma mater, Bethany, as a secondary coach and special teams coordinator in 1997.
The thing about Coach Minnick is, you know what, he's just a winner. I mean, if you ever watch his demeanor and that type of stuff, I mean, he's cooler than a cucumber, but he's wound up tighter than a dollar watch because he's so competitive. But he hides it well.
I was going to say, there's the thing right there. We've had competitive coaches here in the past that maybe hadn't hit it as well.
Yes.
2nd and 16, ball on the 29. Bond back to pass, airs one out down the right-hand side, and this one's going nowhere. So we got a little John here at about the 35 or about the 45-yard line. Official's going to break that up and send it in. Good coverage out here by Garden City as Antonio Davis.
You know, the one thing we should have learned from that Dodge City game is to keep our mouths shut out there and just play the game.
Yep.
Look like we've been there before, you know?
Yep. Antonio Davis was in coverage on Isaiah Taylor. Taylor thought he was being held, but no flag from the official. 5'9" Davis versus the 6'2" Taylor. And again, similar matchup out here on this side as Coffeyville sends one receiver to the right, one to the left. Bond under center. Bond barks out the calls. Now we got a timeout.
You know, I thought if anything on that last play, it wouldn't have been interference, but it could have very well been holding. I mean, Davis may have held the receiver a little bit as he was coming out of his break, but, you know, it wasn't anything to sit there and jaw about and say anything about. I know the receiver was mad, and he's, of course, going to say something, but the defensive back just needs to go back to the huddle and, hey, let's go again.
Yep.
If that's what you believe, I'll take you on again. But
I was just giving you a hug, telling you I was happy to see you. I wasn't holding. But
you know that the cleanest trash talker in the NFL was Phillip Rivers.
yeah.
He was a cleanest trash. I'll tell you what, some of the stuff he said were classics.
Now that they're doing more of this mic'd up, these guys, these professional athletes, college athletes, you know, they're micing them up, man. I enjoy watching some of that, you know. Of course, majority of the stuff that I watch is going to be baseball guys, but some of the stuff that they come up with, it cracks me up. You know, watching a lot of NFL last year with Mahomes, and when they mic Mahomes up, you know, I really enjoy getting to hear what these guys are saying out there on the field.
And that's another great kid, Mahomes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, he's living his dream, and he's doing well at it.
I knew a long time ago back at Oklahoma State, whenever we'd play Texas Tech, it just made me nervous to be around that guy. I just knew he was going to be something special then.
Super talented.
3rd and 16, ball on the 29. Red Ravens, Bond under center. Play clock down to 10. Bond takes a snap, drops back. Here's a handoff over the left-hand side. Room to run across the 30 out to about the 34 before he's finally brought down.
Now, Aaron, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What do you do here? Do you rush the punter and try to get a block with 53 seconds left, or do you try to get the ball back cleanly and maybe try to score?
Good question. Me, I'm not going to get aggressive right here. I've got the lead, 13 points. I'm happy going into the locker room, you know, with a 13-point lead. So me, you know, I'm going to back up and make sure there's nothing sneaky here.
Right.
Make sure the ball gets off, and then I want to make sure that, you know, even down on the other side, fair catch if I can. Let's just get the ball caught, and don't give the Red Ravens any momentum going into this next half. You know, get them shut down here, take the ball, victory formation, or, you know, go to down the ball and get to the locker room and talk about it and get ready for the second half. So,
see, I think that's what I'd probably do too. But you know what? Coach Minnick's a riverboat gambler, man. Right. I tell you.
He's right in the middle of that huddle there as he breaks out. We'll see what they're going to do here.
I think that's part of the reason he is so doggone successful. You know, he goes with his gut.
So Seagraves will punt it away for the Red Ravens. He'll stand about the 19-yard line. Again, 55 seconds left to go here in the first half.
Looks like we got something on here.
LeBourne is the back for Garden City. Stands on about the 33-yard line, and Minnick brings the house. Punts off. This one's going to roll and keep rolling. Get away from that, LeBourne. I don't know. They did not need your help down on that ball down there, son, as they down the ball at about
You're
the 28.
saying what we're thinking.
Sorry. They did not need his help down on that ball at about the 28-yard line. Garden City will take over there again. 1st and 10, 45 seconds left to go here in the first half. I mean, yeah, you know, something happens, that ball bounces up and hits you. You know, all of a sudden they've got 45 seconds to score from the 24-yard line.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I mean, you don't mess with that.
Right.
That ball, the reason it's oblong.
And, you know, I didn't even think a minute ago. I've seen guys, too, in that situation right there where if you're going to send and go try to get the block, you don't even put a guy back.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and put another defensive tackle, defensive end up in there and try to get through and get the ball blocked.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You're absolutely right.
Garden City takes the snap. Looking to pass is Irwin. Irwin going downfield. Got a man at about the 35-yard line. Can't quite get to it. Just out of the hands of the Bronc Busters receiver. Intended was Austin Simmons.
I tell you what, that was a heck of a throw by Irwin.
Sure. Yeah, he threw that one a long way. I mean, he threw that one
I would say probably
50, 55 yards.
Yeah, I was going
in
to
the
say
air.
right around there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a heck of a toss.
So 2nd and 10, 38 seconds now on the clock here in the first half. Irwin alone in the backfield, steps up and fires this one across. Got a man on the far side in the fullback. And, yep. 6'2", 225-pound sophomore out of Huntington, West Virginia. That moves the clock now 3rd and 10, moves the ball up. Irwin back to pass, fires again. This one looking for Damus again and just out of the hands of the receiver. That will stop the clock with about 16 seconds to go.
Now you got to punt it.
Now you got to punt it.
Well, you see the riverboat gambler in him?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you really see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's probably, whenever I started coaching baseball years ago, I was a guy like that. I would, we'd pitch to the 3 and 4 hole. We, do things like that, and just in games trying to get out of it. And I think I've gotten a lot. I don't know if it's smarter or not, but I try not to be quite like that anymore. So Garden City going to punt this one away. Snaps back, punts up, almost got blocked right there. Ball lands at about the 35-yard line, bounces out of bounds. So 8 seconds left on the clock here for the Red Ravens. Another shot at the end zone. And I don't know, here, if you're the Red Ravens, do you take a shot? I think you do.
I think you got it. You're 13 down.
Yeah. Going to spot the ball at about the 39-yard line. So.
And I think they've got the quarterback in there to take it, too.
Vaughn's, yeah, it seems like if Vaughn comes back out, looks like he's kind of going to be their throwing guy.
Yeah, he's got a little bit better arm than
Vaughn comes back out. See what the Red Ravens want to do here. 8 seconds left to go on the clock here in the first half. 2 receivers to the left. 2 back, stand behind Bond. Turn around, Bond. Here's a handoff. That's Star Thomas, I believe. Thomas breaks the tackle across the 40. Going to be brought down at about the 43-yard line, and that will do it for the first half. So as we head to the locker room, Garden City 13, Coffeyville 0. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back with our halftime stats. Get a little more about John feels about the game, and we'll get ready for the second half. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Broncbuster Football here on 99.9 The Rock. Gracias, amigo.
Holy cow, let's see what stats. Here. Oh.
Fans, please turn your attention to midfield as we recognize the Broncbuster golf team. Broncbuster golf team is under the head coach of Phil Terpstra and assistant coach Jason Hayes. Garden City placed 4th at the national tournament in Lubbock this week, their highest finish in school history. Please help us in recognizing Isaac McNaughton, who finished 11th and was named to a second-team All-American. Oliver Tominian, who tied his teammate for 11th and was also an All-American, and Adam Sandegard, who shot 4 over to finish 14th while earning All-American honors. Joining them are national qualifiers Philip Sternlock, Alex Silvergard,
Adam's not here. He flew
and Bill
home.
Jacobson,
I think he flew
alongside
home last week.
Lane Durst,
Or last
Noah
week.
Ortiz, Garrett
might have
Sanchez,
flew home
and
from
Guy Oliva.
Lubbock.
Fans, a round of applause for your 4th place Blockbuster golf team.
Coffeyville's got 44 yards total.
Well, look at the first downs. I mean, they had those 2 first downs in that first, series we give up, and since then we haven't given them a first down.
Yeah. Okay, so they say this quarterback is Nick Arvey. That's what they said.
Huh. Well, I showed that ball on.
At your first half stats. For Coffeyville Community College, they had 2 first
Oh, I
downs.
guess it is.
They had 18 rushes for 43 yards
That's my fault.
and 1 passing yard.
I thought it was 14.
We had
I thought it was
14
14 too.
5 seconds of possession time. They were 2 of 9 on 4th down.
So it's Arvey.
For Garden City, they had
Got
7
it.
first downs. They had 16 rushes for 153
Well, Aaron, like I
yards
said,
and
you
47
just got to
passing
consider
yards.
the source when you do
For a total
this.
of 28 touches for 170 yards.
Works for me.
Total offense. They were also 1 of 6 on 3rd down and 1 of 1 in the red zone. Coffeyville individually. Colby Lane High passed 2 of
Aaron Elam, John Ford back here with you from Bronkbuster Stadium here on the campus of Garden City Community College. As Garden City on top of this one at half, 13-0. Run down some of the stats real quick. Team summary for Coffeyville. This is one that really jumped out to me. Coffeyville, 2 first downs early in the game, like in the first I think it was the second drive where they had 2 first downs there, and then Garden City got out. Since then, the defense is not allowed a first down. At Garden City, just this opposite. We couldn't get a first down going into about our 3rd drive, and now we lead 7 first downs to 2. Passing yards for the Red Ravens, 18 attempts for 43 yards. Garden City 16 for 123 on the ground. Coffeyville that's rushing yards. 18 attempts, 43 rushing yards. Garden City 16 for 123. Passing yards, Coffeyville with 1 passing yard. Garden City with 47.
Yep.
Again, Garden City with the 1 turnover. That kind of jumps out there. You got to eliminate that as they turned over that punt. And but then your defense stepped up, came in, and got you out of that. So it really helps out. Individually, Mike Irwin, 7 for 12 for 47 yards rushing. It's Jordan Ford leading the way, 68 yards on the ground. Of course, he had that 44-yard carry that set up that 4-play, 72-yard drive for Garden City's first score of the ball game. Receiving, Garden City led by Austin Simmons, who's got the 1 catch for 16. Even though we needed 17, he got 16 there. That's the long catch of the day. Joe Carroll, 2 punts. He's 42 yards. And really nothing else jumps out at me there. Defensive stats for Garden City. Of course, Cuts, he's been tremendous, along with, Antonio Davis. We had the
Furman's been there.
Yeah, Furman's been there. Cuts had the sack for a 3-yard loss. That's one that kind of jumped out to me. And then Abrams there also. He's got a couple tackles for loss. So, Garden City playing well as a group. I think, defensively, I think they're the ones that they're the reason the Garden City's 13-0. And I think hopefully, this Red Ravens offense is talented. I mean, they can play. We've knocked out their starting quarterback. I mean, now I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do here in the second half if they come back out with Lehigh or if they'll come out with Nick Arvey, the quarterback that has come in here in the last little bit. I guess it just kind of depends on how.
Kind of what the offense wants to do. If they want to run, you're going to stay with Langhai. If you want to pass, you're going to go with Arvey. I mean,
right.
And I don't know. Maybe they have one middle-of-the-road quarterback. I don't know. Maybe that would be Bond.
That might be Will Bond, who we thought was in. But
yeah.
It's kind of hard. That gets me into a whole nother conversation. These jersey companies that produce these jerseys, why they started producing these numbers so weird that you can't read them from up here in the press box.
I don't know.
Anyway.
And I don't know why they don't put them a little bit wider. And there's got to be some rule that numbers have to be outlined with something distinguishable.
Right.
I remember when Castle View High School came into Garden City and played about 2 or 3 years ago. They had white numbers with just a thin black stripe around it. Yeah. I mean, you actually had to read the numbers via the reflection off the lights in order to get them. I mean, I would assume that there's some sort of standard rule about numbers and how wide they should be.
I think there is on one. I think there is on like width and size. I do believe that is. I've had uniforms built and they're like, "What do you want the standard size?" Yeah, that's what I want. But I don't know. And I mean, me and you are no spring chickens. We're both wearing glasses up in here. I mean, they need to help the old men out.
That's right.
Help the old men out. Put them bigger down there.
Either that or we have to have a doggone spotter with young eyes.
Yeah. And Pilasov's not willing to pay somebody else to come up here in the booth and set and spot for us.
I was hoping Pilasov might do it.
Well, he can't see any better than we can. He can only. I mean, he only knows like 4 numbers. I mean,
the thing about Pilasov is when he gets up here, I mean, he's doing like 4 or 5 jobs at once. You wonder, how on earth do you do that? And then he's got his binoculars stuck up to his face. Yeah. And he can pick any number out. It's just amazing how he does it. And boy, would he be helpful right now.
Well, I mean, and I mean, he's been my hero in this game for a long time. He was with a radio station in Woodward, Oklahoma whenever I started my broadcasting career down there. That's what I always, if I could ever get as good as Mike Pilasov, then I was going to be happy. And now I'm sitting up in his chair today. I'm pretty happy about that. I told the guys earlier the only thing left on my bucket list is that I wanted to call a game with Pilasov, and maybe I'll get a game one of these days, and I'll talk him into coming in and working with me, because I know he's a huge multitasker. He'll have 15 screens up going on at the same time, recording, cutting commercials, audio. I mean, he does it all.
It's amazing what he does.
Yeah, it's kind of like our defense, kind of like our Garden City defense tonight. Man, they're just doing it all.
Well, I often tell people, because they ask how good is Garden. Well, I think defensively we're of championship caliber. Yeah. I mean, really, I think first of all from the coaching staff to the players, championship quality. Offensively, I think we're thin. I think that's all due to the pandemic. It's not really the fault of the kids, nor is it the fault of the coaches. It's just kind of a sign of the times. Sometimes you got to play with maybe people that ordinarily you wouldn't necessarily be your frontline players, but might be your glue players. Well, now we're playing with the glue players, and the frontline players have gone on.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about that too. COVID and players just out now. Different time of the season. It's crazy to be thinking. I mean, never in my life have I ever thought that I'd be calling a football game on May 15th, unless it was an all-star, game or something like that in the summer, after school. I mean, and here we sit calling a football game here, college game. He's talking about the defense. You go back to the Hutch game, the one loss that Garden City has on the record so far. I haven't looked back, but I'm positive that, this defense held Hutch to the least amount of points that they've scored all year.
Well, Aaron, I mean, there were 2 times that I can remember in that Hutch game where Hutch had the ball first and goal from the 2-yard line and did not score. Didn't even get a field goal. We knocked it down. I mean, our defense was just rock solid that game. The problem is that, they scored 23. Well, you hope your offense is good enough to score 23 because, I mean, we've got the championship caliber deep. And actually, let's face it, their last touchdown was kind of a touchdown out of, hey, we're exhausted. We've had enough. And they kind of took advantage of that there at the end. Otherwise, it'd have been it'd been a 16-3 game or a 16-7 game.
Well, and as you look at that, too, a lot of questions about coming in today was, how deep was our defense? How, there's some guys missing off of this defense. I mean, we're missing some corners and we're missing some guys for some personal fouls last week at Dodge and some things like that. And so, there's some guys in here that are playing on this defense that are asked to come up, and they're doing a good job. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And then, you know what can you say about Dominguez and what he does with the defense?
Yeah.
What an incredibly good coach. I mean, I love our coaches here at Garden City Community College because they got that competitive fire about them. They teach the kids. I mean, one of the kids, I guess, told many that the stuff they're learning right now, they didn't know at a Division I school because they weren't being taught.
Right. Well, and you look at Dominguez. I mean, I stayed up here on the offensive side of the field the other day when I come out to practice just to watch a little bit. I stayed up here on the offensive side, but I was watching down where the defense was playing. Dominguez is running scout quarterback. I mean, he's in there running scout quarterback. So, I guarantee you're not going to find very many places where your defensive coordinator's running scout quarterback. And I think he's doing that because he's watched enough game film. He knows what the quarterback's going to do. He knows their tendencies. And then he goes down here and emulates those. So our defense sees that. And, yeah, you're right. Our coaching staff.
One thing of any successful coach, and I mean, this because you're a coach too, but I think anything you have to have the passion and the drive. And when your kids see you out there having the passion, then all of a sudden everything is fun and gets important for you.
Yeah. Well, and hats off to our athletic directors and the guys up here in the head office at Garden City that brought these guys in. I mean, you want to talk about Tom Minnick, 123 and 39.
Yeah.
Overall, 12 and 4 here at Garden City. He spent 11 seasons at Arizona Western, played in 3 national title games, all-time winningest coach in Arizona Western history, third highest winning percentage among active NCAA coaches, 9 straight bowl appearances. His team finished in the top 28 times. I mean, this guy's resume is just huge. And Garden City went out and got him.
That's a credit to Colin Lamb and Ryan Ruda because I mean, they know what a successful program's built with.
Right.
And they go out and get it.
And there's a lot to really look forward to here at Garden City as far as this junior college goes. And, people that are listening at home, it's an exciting time. I mean, we just went out and got a new basketball coach. Athletic director is tremendous, salt of the earth. I think good people here. You look at our baseball program, Coach Finnegan, 16 longest tenure with any college baseball coach at Jayhawk in the Jayhawk League. The college baseball program this year, and of course I covered a lot of their games this year. They played well. I mean,
look at the softball program.
Softball,
Pepper did a wonderful job with the softball program this year.
Right.
So, a lot of good things are happening athletically with Garden City Community College. Plus, you can't beat the education.
No.
The instructors here are fabulous. They're incredible.
Right.
I mean, there's so much talent. And hey, as a community here in Garden City, we're blessed with that talent.
Right.
And so you hope that a lot of our high school kids who may not have the opportunity to go to a 4-year school take advantage of that.
Well, and you look at kids, Garden City High School has done a better job at preparing my son, who's a 16-year-old sophomore. He's done a better job at preparing my son to go to college. He I think he's there. But there are schools, the school that we came from in Oklahoma, it was hard. And you've seen a huge kids that would go to a large college, whether it was Oklahoma State or OU or places like that, would end up back home really quick because they couldn't handle the transition. But I think, places like Garden City, the community college, things like that, get those students ready to do that. And you want to talk about in the day and time that we're on where education is expensive, 2 years at a junior college makes things very affordable. It really, really does.
And add to it that there are multiple opportunities where you can be part of something and get scholarship for it. And I think that's a heck of a deal. I mean, it gets you started on your college education. It gives you a little taste of it. That way, hey, you're not surprised when you move on to a 4-year institution. So, I mean, junior college that we have here in Garden City, it's just a wonderful opportunity for all the kids.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, just as talented as the instructors are at the community college, they are at the high school as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we are blessed at the high school to have some of the best instructors around.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's fun to be around that. So
I came from, we came from a Class B school. Again, we talked about it in the pregame. Was talking about how long it's been since I've done an 11-man football game because, we were Class B. We played 8-man football. But, coming from that, I don't know. There was 120 kids maybe in the high school where we were at, and then you're bringing up here now my kid's going to go to the second largest 6A school 2100 in the state of Kansas, and I was a little nervous, but we made the transition has been tremendous, and my kids have both done good in school, and proud of them for that. But
well, I'm kind of biased because, I've lived here for 40 years, and I will tell you, there's a reason why I've lived here for 40 years.
Because they named this field right over here after you? Is that
no,
why?
No, that's not it. No, the great thing is that the kids and the people are second to none.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the community because it's diverse, it's progressive, and the people you meet here are just down-home good people.
Yeah.
And then the kids, hey, I love, every kid I have, I just love them to death, man, because they are, who wakes up and gets to do what you want to do and actually get paid for it?
Yep.
And I'm fortunate enough to be in that situation, and I am so appreciative of it. And, it was a blessing coming to Garden City.
Yeah, when did you? Let's just talk about. We've got 3 minutes here before kickoff. When did you come to Garden City?
I came here in the spring of '82.
Spring of
'82.
'82.
My first year was '82 through '83, and I met my wife. She subbed for me in '82, and I kind of had the eyes for her, but she gave me a little, like a reindeer made of clothes clips or something, and I just put it on my desk. I didn't think much of it. Well, one of the kids come up to me about 2 weeks later and said, "Hey, Coach Ford, if you aren't going to call that number on that reindeer, Miss Mahan wants it back." And so I got on that phone and called. And to make a long story short, 5 weeks I asked her to marry me, and we've been going strong for 38 years. And this has been a wonderful place to live. We've had our kids go to school here. My son came through Garden City Community College, had a great time, got a good, solid education to move on to a 4-year school. And so, the people of Garden City are lucky to have this.
Yep, you're right, and this is a good deal. We look down, we talked about the crowd being late arriving, but again, you look through the stands, nice crowd here at the stadium tonight, and, I know we've it's a very interesting deal, and we've really enjoyed the college, the junior college. We've traveled. I've taken the wife and kids. We went and watched a game at Dodge.
Yep.
We've traveled with them too, and then doing the baseball. I've been around to a majority of the campuses, and it's all the campuses in this Jayhawk League. Junior college are super nice, and we're fortunate here in Kansas to have that. Just as a state, even to have the places
absolutely.
that we have.
And we'd be neglectful if we did not mention our golf team.
Yeah,
4th place
that's right.
at Nationals. First time in the school's history that has happened.
Yeah, good transition. Let's get back to sports
here.
here.
What a awesome accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, kids from a couple of years ago, there was a kid from my area in Oklahoma that moved up here to play golf. And I was like, man, you're going to go to Garden City and play golf, learn to play in the wind? And he said, no. He said, where else can you play every day at Buffalo Dunes? What a beautiful facility, beautiful guys.
Course, yes.
Good course. And get them ready. And
we got to mention Jason Haas is one of the coaches. Phil Terpstra, the professor. Yep. He's another of the coaches. They do a wonderful job with the golf program.
Yeah, on the rise.
Like I say, we are very talented to have these people around us helping our kids.
Right. Well, we're about ready to kick this second half off here again. Garden City leads here on the field 13-0 as we get ready and get set to kick this second half off.
I think Garden's going to be receiving. I knew
Garden
they
should have the ball.
Garden
should get the ball here to start the second half. Looks like the injured player for the Red Ravens there in the first half. Anawan, the defensive lineman, 6'6", 240 out of Hampton, Georgia, will not be back here in the second half as he comes out on crutches. He's moving around and everything looks good, but they've got him on crutches. I'm sure.
Hopefully
I hope that.
Hopefully it's nothing more than a minor sprain.
Right.
You wish the best for the kid because the kid's working his butt off out there, trying hard. The last thing you want for him is for him to be hurt. Right. So,
kicking it off will be Skylar Seacraves, the 5'10", 175-pound freshman out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. We'll kick it off here for the Red Ravens. First time we've seen their kickoff team on the field.
And hopefully it
puts
lasts.
a foot into there. This one's going to be taken on about the 1-yard line. Bronkbusters come up, make a move out past the 15 to about the 18-yard line. Let's see if we can get a number there on the returner. I believe that was LeBourne.
Yeah.
LeBourne brought that one out to about the 15-yard line, so that's where Garden City will take over here in the first half. Or second half, excuse me. They'll have 1st and 10 here in the second half. I'll get it out of my mouth in a minute.
You know what? You should call a game like you do an auction, because man, you don't skip a beat when you do that, man. It's awesome. I've heard Aaron do this.
Yeah,
fans,
that's what we were
and
doing.
Let me tell you,
That's what we were doing for our mic check in the pregame.
He's amazing.
Garden City comes out, 2 receivers split to the left. Irwin, the shotgun formation, turns around, hands off. This one hitting the backfield, breaks a tackle out across the 20, down to 21. Nice job there running the football. I believe, is that Jordan Ford? That is
Yes.
Jordan Ford, as he was hitting the backfield, broke a couple tackles, was able to squirt out and make it a gain of about 3.
It really
So they'll
wasn't
bring up 3rd and
clean.
7.
It didn't look like a clean handoff. It looked like there was some little bit of confusion there. So for him to make 3 or 4 yards out of that was a good deal.
So Garden City here, 2nd and 7, ball on the 22-yard line in their own territory. Irwin shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Brings a man in motion. Takes the snap. Here's a handoff. Again, sidestep out past the 24. Get close to, it looks like right at the 24 and a half yard line will be Jordan Ford again. Little extracurricular activities going on there on the line, but I think Garden City might have learned their lesson. It looked like Irwin
so.
jumped in the middle of that really quick and said, we're not going to go down this road again.
Yeah. Smart play by Irvin.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 at the 24-yard line.
So 3rd and 5 here from the 20-yard line. 25-yard line. Here's a pass down the right-hand side. Got a man out. What a great catch at the 45. Did he hang on to it? No. He did not. Simmons had the ball. Brought it down, and then the ball was stripped out at the last minute. I thought there for a second they might give him a chance or give him that.
I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a pass. It
Sure.
was right. That was a dime.
Irwin put that right where he needed to be.
If he makes that catch, that defensive back just got mossed.
Here we go. So Garden City going to punt this one away. Joe Carolyn stands about his own 10-yard line. Make sure everything goes good. Snaps down. Irwin gets a foot into this one. High end over end kick. This one's going to bounce. Ooh, takes a big Red Raven bounce as it bounces about the 50 back to about the 42, 43-yard line. So, again, the Red Ravens, good field position here at the start of the second half as they're going to get the ball in Garden City territory. 1st and 10 on the 43-yard line. Red Ravens offense come out and see what they do at quarterback as they bring they're going to bring Lehigh back in.
Yeah.
Lehigh's going to be back in here to start this second quarter again. Lehigh started the ball game, played a majority of the first half, and then was replaced there late in the game. But Lehigh back in for the Red Ravens. Lehigh brings a man in motion, takes the snap, turn around, here's a pitch. This is Starr. Starr runs off the right-hand side, hit, and stopped. He's going to lose about 2.
And Garden City was ready for that.
Brought down by Ryan Guerrero.
Ryan Guerrero on the tackle for Garden City. As again, Starr Thomas
Also 2 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down. and
loses
12
2.
on the 45-yard line.
Go back to those first half stats. Rushing, Thomas only had 4 yards. Leading rusher was Lewis, Dorian Lewis for the Red Ravens. Lehigh under center. 2 split to the left. Lehigh throws one. He's got a man at about the 35 and out of bounds at about the 33-yard line as the pitch and catch from Lehigh
Shoved out of bounds by Zay Roberson.
to Bryce Childress.
See, I don't know if Langhigh is made for those quick slants, but I'll tell you what, he's made for that quick out. He's got a nice arm for that.
He's another, left-handed quarterback, and I don't know if that, how that affects you as a coach, as the offensive coordinator and how you use that. But Lehigh left-handed, able to get rid of that one to the left side. Here's Lehigh again, under center, turns around, drops out, rolls out to his left, steps back, looks, fires one down the main. Got a man in the end zone, overthrows him. Wide open, not wide open, but open. Had a spot to make the catch in the end zone was the Red Ravens, and Lehigh just threw that one out of the receiver's grasp.
Yeah, there were definitely separation between the receiver and the two defensive backs back there. You know, the thing about it is that receiver's got pretty good height, too. I mean, he's one of their tight ends.
I was going to say that's William Dennis, tight end, 6'4", 240, out of Shawnee, Kansas. He's Lehigh's looked to go to him 3 or 4 times tonight.
Yeah, he's been a target for sure.
So the Red Ravens, 2nd and 10, 32-yard line of Garden City, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Lehigh shotgun formation. Star Thomas stands next to him. Lehigh drops back, now fires. This one knocked in the air, knocked down by Garden City. Arvell Ferguson in the backfield, jumps up, knocks that one down to the turf. 6'4", 220 out of St. Louis.
What a play.
So that helps Garden City. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Now, if Coffeyville doesn't make this, do you go for it?
Well, I tell you, it's still pretty early in the second half, but I might. Depends. I might, I don't know.
I probably would.
I think you got to, see what you – maybe
2 downs here.
I know you got some wind. Might help you. Field goal maybe possible. Lehigh with the ball. Lehigh drops back, sets up, in trouble. Now he's going down, sacked in the backfield. Lehigh goes down as Cutts gets to him. Raymond Cutts with his 2nd sack of the ball game.
That young man is having a great game tonight. Now there's no question what you're doing.
You got to get rid of this one. Big play there by Cutts and the defense.
You know, the one thing that we've done a good job with Coffeyville is we've kept them behind the stakes. When you keep them behind the stakes, I'll tell you what, I mean, your chances improve greatly getting off the field with no harm done.
Raymond Cutts, 6'3", 270 out of Orlando, Florida. Here's a snap back, low snap. Punter gets it high in the air. This ball's going to carry and hit into the end zone, so Garden City will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20 as they get their second possession here in the second half.
That's incredible that we didn't down that ball.
Yeah.
Or they didn't down that ball. I mean,
there had lots of guys around.
Yeah. It's like they've got perfect position, and then you just let it go right through them.
So Garden City's offense back on the field here. First and 10.
Rushers will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
Irwin shotgun formation. Turns around, hands off. Jordan Ford over the left-hand side.
Jordan Ford, the ball carrier.
Avoids a couple tackles, moves the ball out to about the 24.5, 25-yard line. I think we got an injured player.
Yeah, we got another kid hurt. Red Raven.
Gain of 4 on the play. Timeout for injury.
So we're going to have a timeout. Setting up looks okay. Maybe a cramp there on the
You hope
Red
it's a
Raven,
cramp.
yeah.
You hope it's nothing more than a cramp. That's.
Looks like they're
I
going to
think
try
it
to
looks
stretch
like a
him out.
cramp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to try to stretch him out here.
Yeah.
So it looks like a cramp. And, of course, the humidity tonight, the heat.
It's a whole different
showing
realm.
70 degree.
Whole different realm playing in this particular time of year. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember 4 weeks ago when we were playing, I think it was Fort Scott. I mean, it was like 81, 85 degrees out. I mean, we had a couple of linemen getting sick on the sideline. I mean, how often do they play in 85-degree weather other than, when they practice early or late in August?
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I remember, you used to not be able to buy, I know where I was at, where we were in high school, used to not be able to buy pickle juice in the concession stand, but we started having a lot of cramp issues, and coaches started having them freeze the pickle juice, and you'd go get the pickle juice out of the freezer, and that's what you took for cramps. Is sure enough, the injured player for the Red Ravens.
Good to see him get up and go.
Gets up, heads back.
Yeah.
That's Devontae Turner.
At their own 24-yard line.
So Turner off the field. He'll go over and get stretched out. I'm sure we'll see him again. Garden City. 2nd and 5, ball on the 25-yard line. Here's Garden City running off the left-hand side. Ford out across the 30, still on his feet. We got a scrum, and Garden City, the offensive line gets behind Ford and shoves the Red Ravens down the field to the 38-yard line. That's a good 10-yard push, I think.
That has got to be one of the biggest highlights this season for the offensive line.
Yeah,
he absolutely manhandled the middle
big
of that
scrum
line.
right there. And they just drove the Red Ravens back.
It's a gain of 19 on the play, which is good
10-10 left to go here in the third quarter. Garden City on top, 13-0.
1st and 10, West
Garden City with the ball and driving. 2 receivers to the right of Irwin. Irwin takes a snap, drops off. Here's Ford. Ford cuts up through, looking for room to run out across the 45, lowers his shoulder and head, drives one back, and again, finally brought down at about the 47-yard line. Garden City starting to play with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of swagger as Jordan Ford lowered his shoulder right there and run over a Red Raven defender.
He is one tough little dude, man. That guy brings
it. Gets up the sideline, getting excited. Ford gets up and signals first down.
I think there were at least 3 Red Ravens that hit him, and he still carried it.
1st and 10, Bronbusters at the 48.
So that'll be a new set of downs for Garden City. 9:16 now here in the third. 1st and 10 as Garden City breaks the huddle. They'll send 2 receivers split to the left. Irwin in shotgun formation. Takes a snap, turns around. Here's Ford again. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and this time he's not going anywhere.
Sometimes you go to the well too often.
Jordan Ford, the ball carrier.
So Jordan Ford going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It looks like where they're going to mark him on the far side. And he'll come out of the ball game, and I believe Hodges is coming in.
No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Tell me, is that a nice compliment right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take out Ford, bring in Hodges.
Yep. You don't lose much. You lose an inch.
Yeah.
That's about all you leave. You lose an inch. So Hodges into the ball game now for Garden City. Irwin shotgun formation, and we've got a
what the Sam hell was
offside.
that?
I don't know how you jump off when you're. I always struggle with that in football. If you're the defensive nose guard, how do you jump offsides? Because the ball's right in front of you.
Legitimately give him a personal foul on that too. I mean, he just.
Yeah.
I guess he figured if I'm going to be offsides, the center's going to know it.
Yeah, Devin Lee called for the offsides penalty right there. That'll give Garden City another 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5 now. Ball inside of Red Raven territory at the 40, looks like about the 47-yard line of the Red Ravens. Garden City again driving. Here's Hodges. Hodges off the left-hand side, makes the cut, got the first down, looking for room. 35 across the 35, and now we've got a scrum again. This time they're going to blow the whistle before Garden City has the opportunity to push him another 10 yards. So nice run there by Hodges off the left-hand side down to the 33-yard line. That'll move the chains for Garden City.
What an awesome run.
13 on the play, which is good for another Broadbuster. 1st down and 10, Broadbusters at the 33-yard line.
Fans having a good time here tonight.
It's a nice atmosphere.
Absolutely.
It is.
Devin Hodges was a 13-yard run back into the ball game. Here's Jordan Ford. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and blown up. Nice play over there defensively by Coffeyville.
Tackle made by
Brendan Scott, 6'1", 200-pound freshman out of Florida, finds Jordan Ford.
Yeah, I think Jordan was trying to make a cut inside, and that's where Scott was. But Scott just kind of ran through him.
Garden City's gained 46 yards so far on 5 plays on this drive.
Good thing is they're working that clock.
7 minutes to go. The drive started at 11:04. Down to 6:53 now. Here's an Irwin. This one now, that was a train wreck from the goes. We got flags all over the place. I believe that's going to be offsides on Garden City. Irwin wasn't ready for the snap, and then it come across. Irwin about fumbled it. Able to get it, and then the flags flew.
You would think the quarterback would remember the snap.
And, that kind of tells me it might be. Yep. 79 offense. So first penalty of the ball game for Garden City.
So that very well could have been on center, too.
Yeah. First penalty of the ball game for Garden City. Six, that's good. First penalty of the ball game, 6:45 left to play in the third. Garden City, and then after the personal fouls and stuff from last week, major improvement.
Yes.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Irwin shotgun formation. Turns off, hands it to Ford. Ford's going the wrong way. He's going to be dropped back at about the 45-yard line, so he's going to lose a couple more. That's going to bring up 3rd.
See, this is where I get frustrated. Because we go with something that's successful, we just keep going to it and going to it and going to it. It's not going to open back up until you go to something else.
Right.
It's just not.
You never know. You're trying to be conservative. You're moving the ball on the ground, so you're running the clock and you're moving the ball, and then but then you get too vanilla.
Well, and Coffeyville's not dumb. They're not going to keep getting, pierced on the same play. They're eventually going to make it.
Here's Irwin. Irwin drops back in trouble, and he's going to go down and be sacked. Irwin's going to go down and be sacked inside, back into Garden City territory to see where they spot this one. They're going to spot it at about the 47-yard line. So Garden City had the ball 1st and 10 at the Red Raven 33, and they're going to punt here, 4th and 45.
That last 4 plays were hideous.
Yeah. Here's the snap to Carroll. Joe Carroll gets a foot in this one. Almost had that one blocked. This one high in the air. It's going to hit. Red Raven bounce. Finally downed at about the 36, 37-yard line. So Garden City on a big drive there as they ate a lot of clock there. That drive started at 11:04. There's now 5:22 left to go here in the third, but the last 4 plays were not good for the Broncbusters. See what the defense can do. Red Ravens now with the ball, 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Lay high, drops back, fires one. You got a man at midfield, 45, dropped immediately at about the 47-yard line. Is that pitch and catch from Lay high?
That was one of those situations.
Wilson, excuse me.
Yeah.
So Wilson with his first reception.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you talk, I talk. We all talk at the same time.
That's just one, another example of, we got caught on a linebacker blitz, so we didn't have anybody covering that particular pattern. And the quarterback made a good play and got the ball off. He just barely got it off.
I was going to say, he had a man in his lap there when he threw that ball. So 1st and 10, only the 3rd first down for the Red Ravens today. Lay high, the quarterback, under center, one receiver to the right, one to the left. Lay high, drops back, looks to pass, fires one downhill, going for the home run, and that's going to be intercepted at the 10-yard line by Garden City, looking for the return. Garden City coming back, picking up a block at the 30, 40, 45, still on his feet, weaving in and out of traffic, and finally going to drop as we got a flag back at the 42-yard line. That was going to be late.
You're going to have an illegal block.
I think it's going to be an illegal block, maybe even, it
might be a blindside block.
It was 20 yards down the field. It didn't need to happen, in my mind. But anyway, it's going to bring this back on an outstanding interception. Yep.
I saw it.
Blindside block.
I'll tell you what, it was a pretty – I think that was a pretty cheap call, actually, because here's the deal. That block was made when the guy was staring the blocker right in the face, and he knew he was going to get blocked. He was coming back to the ball. The blocker was right in front of him. So that's not a blindside block.
So that play right there is going to be an interception was an interception by Antonio Davis. That'll give Garden City the ball back, 1st and 10 at about the 25-yard line. Here's Jordan Ford looking for room to run, cuts up across the 25 to about the 27, gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, gains maybe a half a yard.
Brought down by Taylor Jackson. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 to the 27-yard line.
So Garden City does get back to the original line of scrimmage, be 2nd and 10, ball on the 27-yard line.
I don't know how on earth they got back to the line of scrimmage.
Two receivers to the left. I don't either. Here's Jordan Ford again. This time room to run off the left-hand side, out across the 35, down to about the 37-yard line.
That was Hodges.
Hodges back in there.
Yeah, Ford came off. He was limping.
It's hard to tell. Again, you're
right.
You're within an inch either way.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers on the jerseys would be the telltale sign. Clock at 3:13. It continues to tick here in the third quarter. Garden City driving. They're looking at this one. I think they're looking at the. Yep, it's going to be a 1st down. They're moving the chains now.
Which is good for a Bronc Buster.
So that good for a Bronc Buster, 1st and 10.
1st down and 10, Busters. At their own 37-yard line.
We've got car lights on in the parking lot. If you're in the parking lot and listening to John Ford and I want you to blink your car lights twice and then shut them off because they're needing you to shut those off, please.
Shoot, the other night at our softball game, I thought we were going to have to get the cars and line them up on the outfield fence and turn on the lights because it was so late getting out of there.
I had to go into the settings into mine. I pulled up next to the ballpark the other night in Lamar, Colorado, and was going to because it was cold. And I had to go into the settings to figure out how to shut my daytime running lights off. It wasn't my headlights. I had them shut off. You got to shut your daytime running lights on because they come on when the car starts.
Yeah, they don't go off. They're on. Yeah.
2nd and 10 here, ball on the 27-yard line for Garden City. 1st and 10, excuse me. Here's a handoff. This will be Hodges off the left-hand side. Hodges hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown back. I don't think he got back. He's probably going to lose a couple here. Things starting to get maybe just a little chippy. This again, kind of Hodges. Thrown to the ground.
The good thing is you got Garden City players that are telling other Garden City players, get back in the huddle.
Yep.
That's good.
Loss of 1 of the play, it'll bring up.
So a loss of 1, that'll bring up 2nd and 11
from the 36-yard line.
Once again, the frustration level of me is gradually rising because we're doing the same thing.
Garden City having to hustle line of scrimmage, 1 second on the play clock, and now we've got a timeout called by Coach Minnick as he was. Garden City looked like they were going to get that off, but Minnick was about a half a second ahead of the snap, and the play clock was at 1. So timeout here on the field. Garden City has to take a timeout before the delay of game penalty.
I know as a head coach, that particular thing right there does not sit well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and, a lot of times, though, in football, it's different. I mean, it depends on where you're getting the play from because, there's a lot of head coaches out there that run the play off the sideline. They got a guy that runs their guy in and out.
Right.
And so, that normally gets the play into the game quicker. Now, I played underneath a head coach that we laughed. Our starting quarterback ran 6 miles during a ball game because after every play he had to run to the sideline, get the play from the head coach who'd meet him at about the yard marker, out there, and then run back in and make the play call. And that play clock just tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
So some of it kind of depends on where you're getting your play call from.
Absolutely. I mean, you have other coaches that signal it in. Basically, they're at the line of scrimmage, and they signal in what they're seeing according to the defense.
Right. Now we've got the big placards we use.
Yes, you got the big placards.
The big placard cards with everybody's picture on it. I don't know how they do that. I'd like to learn.
I have
one
no
of these
idea
days.
either.
So Garden City 2nd and 11 as we break out of the timeout. 1:51 left to go here in the third quarter. Garden City on top 13-0. Irwin, the quarterback, brings a man in motion. 2 receivers split to the right. Takes a snap. Here's a handoff. This is Ford running out to the right. Trying to find a hole. Can't find it. Moves forward. Stays inbounds as they wind the clock.
done by Brendan Scott.
Well, if anything, all these runs are taking time off the clock. So,
That's right.
you know.
And, I mean, when you got a defense that's playing as good as Coach Minnick is right now, you know, that might, you know, I kind of get it. You got a defense that hasn't given up hardly anything all night. I mean, how many times has the Red Ravens had the ball in our territory to start a drive? I mean, they've had the ball, I know, at least 3 times.
Yeah. In point-blank range.
You know, 40, 45, 48-yard line, starting a drive and haven't been able to do anything with it.
Yeah. It's really a credit to Garden City's defense. Right. They're just incredible.
So 2nd and 16 here. And we got a timeout. Coach Minnick got his hands up. I'm not real sure either, because I didn't see any penalties on the field, but yet they spotted the ball way behind the first down marker. So Coach Minnick just kind of maybe wanted an explanation as to what's going on. He must be all right with it as he turns around and walks back.
Yeah, it doesn't say much about it. So.
Yeah, he's not talking to him about the call, so he must have agreed with whatever it was they called. So 2nd and 16, minute 30 left to go here.
You want to bet they run?
Illegal formation is what they called, I'm sorry, on Garden City. So here's a handoff, draw play off the right-hand side. Jordan Ford, room to run, cuts, makes a man miss at the 50, 45, 40, finally shoved out of bounds late.
Yeah.
As Hodges, Jordan Ford out, Damian Hodges in, but Damian Hodges with his long run of the day as he stretches that one out. Moves the chains for Garden City into Red Raven territory. Spot the ball at the 40, spot the ball at the 37-yard line.
First and 10, Broncbusters at the Coffeyville.
So the Broncbusters now inside a minute to play here in the third quarter into Red Raven territory. 2 receivers split to the left. Here's Hodges again. Well, that's this time new back in for Hodges. He's not going anywhere, I believe. Martez Jones comes into the ball game for Hodges. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and stacked up. No gain on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 10, and I think
Jordan Ford's hurt. That's why he's not going back in. I think that's why.
Is he down here with the trainers? Is this Jordan right here? I can't tell. I can't see a number right there, but looks like maybe that might be Jordan right there.
It looks like it. That kind of looks like him.
Looks like maybe a cramp or trying to stretch him out. I mean, they're not working on anything serious. 2nd and 10. Here's Hodges off the left-hand side. Hang on to the ball as he moves the ball up to the 35-yard line, or down to the 35-yard line where he's brought down.
Quarter.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, Garden City still on top, 13-0 as we head to the fourth. Let's take a 60-second break, and then we'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Broncbuster Football. I'll get them one time here on 99.9 The Rock.
And order your official game day photos. Striplet photography, because every moment matters.
What's that? 5. That's yeah.
Tell you what, the musical selections have been spot on tonight. I like them.
Welcome back here to Broncbuster Stadium on the campus of Garden City Community College as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Garden City on top, 13-0. Garden City with a 3rd and 9, ball on the Red Raven 36. We did find Jordan Ford. He is suffering from cramps on the sidelines. They're working with him. In the game right now is Hodges. as we've got flags flying everywhere.
That didn't look good. I think it's
somebody moved up. Yeah, I think it's on us. Somebody moved up front.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
You're a lot prettier than that guy that's been coming in. You know that?
Oh, on the ground, Garden City. 32 for 197 on the ground, still 47. No passing yards in the second, or in the third quarter for Garden City. Imagine that. Garden City now faces a 3rd and 14. Ball on the 40-yard line. Irwin, shotgun formation, one receiver to the right, one to the left. Irwin rolls out to his left. Looking downfield, sets up, fires one at the sidelines. Out of bounds, incomplete.
Mike Irwin's pass is incomplete, intended for Cameron LeBourne.
That one intended for LeBourne. LeBourne went up and got his hands on it. I don't think even if he would have brought it in, he would have been out of bounds. I don't think he could have stayed in bounds. Momentum was going to carry him out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he threw into double coverage, actually, because it looked like LeBourne was bracketed, and he was trying to fit it into a tight window, and didn't work out all that well. I mean, it would have been kind of a 50-50 deal if he'd brought it down, whether it was going to be in or not.
Joe Carroll into punt. Carroll puts his foot into this one, high hanging punt. Going to be fair caught at about the 13-yard line. But we've got a flag back at the 50-yard line, and Joe Carroll says they roughed me. So we'll see if it's going to be a roughing the punter or a running into the punter. But Garden City thinks that they're going to have enough, or they will have enough for the first down there. That'll be an automatic first down.
Running into the kicker. Number 424, Coffeyville. 5 yards to be added to the end of the kick. First down, Coffeyville.
Okay, so running into the kicker's the call. They'll add 5 yards to the end. So the ball was fair caught at about the 13-yard line, so that'll take them down to about the 18-yard line, excuse me. So that's going to take them down to about the 13. After the running into the kicker penalty. And I didn't see it. I was watching the stuff down there. Joe Carroll got up and signaled first down. He thought he had a roughing the kicker.
Yeah.
But it ended up being running into the kicker. So the Red Ravens will have the ball deep in their own territory here to start this drive. 14:47 left to go here in the ball game. Do you send everybody here, try to get you a safety maybe, or keep pushing them back?
I'll tell you what, if they get behind the stakes, they very well might.
Here's a pass out. That one's going to be incomplete as Langhai trying to shoot one out here to his right-hand side. Pass falls incomplete.
It'll bring a 2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line.
That's how they send in plays. That's what they do. They send Langhai to the sideline and then bring him back in. They tell him to play on the sideline, and then he has to run back in.
That pass was intended for Green. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Langhai, shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Langhai takes a snap. Here's a handoff. This one not going anywhere. Hit at the line of scrimmage is Thomas, I believe. Finally wrestled. Thomas still on his feet, even though the whistle's blown, but got to be careful. Garden City actually comes out of the pile with the ball, but the whistle was blown a long time ago. Going to be a gain of about maybe a half yard, bring up 3rd and 9.5, 3rd and 10 still.
Well, I'll tell you what, that defense is playing hard, aren't they? They just.
Yeah, big guys up front are working hard tonight.
A lot of communication, too. You can tell there's a lot of communication between the defensive backfield, the linebackers. I mean, everybody is, really following their assignment.
Langhai with the ball, drops back, looking to pass, pressured, going down, almost sack, does get rid of it. But that one, awful close to a sack back in the backfield.
Is that Cuts back there again?
I believe that is Cuts.
I'll tell you what.
Skylar Seagraves to put it away for the Coffeyville Red Ravens.
I'd like to know what the total yardage is right now. I bet it's
Well, this drive here, that so far they haven't gained a yard here on this drive.
No.
3 plays, no yards, and they're going to punt it away. Now Seagrave stands in his own end zone. So Seagraves gets the snap, steps into it, punts this one. Line drive punt, going to hit it about the 45, take a big roll down into Red Raven territory. Again, I don't understand why we don't get away from that. As one of the Coffeyville players grabs a hold of our player and tries to push him into the ball.
Yeah.
We got to get away from that.
Yeah.
So that punt goes down to the Garden City 35-yard line. Nice punt there.
I don't think Coach Minnick was happy at all that LeBourne let that go.
That was Hill, O'Shea Hill on the quarterback hurry just a minute ago. That set up the long punt. So Garden City take over 1st and 10, ball on their own 35. Irwin in the shotgun formation. Here's Irwin, turns around, hands it off, looking for room to run as Hodges off the left-hand side, looking for the corner. Got it up to about the 39-yard line, going to gain about 4 on the carry for the Bronc-Busters. Brought down by Collier for the Red Ravens.
Tell you what, Hodges is having a good game in this game. Doing a good job running.
Yeah, still looks like Jordan Ford's back up, helmet back on over here on the far sideline. Looks like he might come back in or could come back in if they wanted to him. But, Hodges doing a good job right now. I just let him run.
Plus, I don't know how motivated they are with Butler playing. They have to play Butler next week. You might want to go in with a healthier.
Yep. Here's Hodges. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, dives forward, gets across the 40 up to about the 41-yard line. Going to pick up a gain of a couple. So that's going to bring up 3rd and about 4 here for the Bronc-Busters.
Gain of 1 on the play. It'll bring a 3rd down.
Well, they're going to say, the public address announcer going to say 1, so we'll go with that. Gain of 1 brings up, makes it about 3rd and 4 here for Garden City. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Irwin, the quarterback, with Hodges next to him. Irwin takes a snap, steps back, fires over the right-hand side. Got a man at about the 48-yard line, brings it down. That'll be a 1st down for Garden City on the pitch and catch. That pass completed to Jarman. And now we've got a timeout for injury as another Red Raven down back at about the 37-yard line. But Jarman having to climb the ladder to go up and get that one. Goes up and gets it, brings it down. That'll move the chains for the Bronc-Busters.
I wish we had a replay of that because I think that kid, somebody went right at his knees. And I think.
Back here on the injury?
Yeah. I think one of our linemen cut him. And I think it was probably a clean block, but I just, I feel bad for the kid. I mean.
Yeah, he's getting up. Everything looks good. He's going to walk off under his own power.
Thank God for that, man. I hate seeing that type of thing. Having an ACL reconstruction myself, those things are hard to get over.
The injured player was Joseph Backhole. Walks off under his own power. So the Bronc-Busters now with the 1st and 10, ball on the 47-yard line, their own 47. Clock starts to run. 12:23 left to go in the ball game. Irwin, the quarterback, shotgun formation. Takes a snap. Here's a handoff to Hodges. Hodges cuts it back up inside, going to gain a couple. Well, maybe, let's see, crossed about the.
Brought down by Alan Henry.
See where they spot this. Going to be about the 47-yard line, give him a gain of 1.
Looked like that was going to go on outside, but boy, he put a foot in the ground and cut hard.
That'll bring up 2nd and about 9 here for the Busters. Bronc-Busters driving again, trying to continue to eat up clock as they lead 13-0. 2 receivers to the right. for Irwin. Irwin turns around. Here's a handoff to Hodges. Hodges bounces this one outside 50, 45. Flag back down at the 50. We're going to have a holding, I believe, right here in front of Coach Minnick at the 50-yard line as Hodges broke that one.
There is a flag on the play.
I believe this one come back. This one's coming back, but Hodges got the corner there and was able to bring this one. Would have had plenty of yards for the first down. But I think going to come back due to holding.
Holding, number 68, offense. 10 yards in the spot of the foul. Down.
That's the call, holding on Garden City, so that'll bring it back. So Garden City will try it again after the penalty now. Backed up 2nd and 18. They would have had it 1st and 10. Now 2nd and 18. Two receivers to the right, two to the left for Irwin. Irwin. Here's a handoff up the middle. Irwin, scoots out. Quarterback keeper. Had me fooled. Around the right hand, Mike Irwin takes the ball across midfield down to about the 46, 47-yard line in Red Raven territory. That'll bring up 3rd and manageable.
Yes, that was a heck of a play right there. Irwin just exploded out of there.
Yeah, I thought for sure he'd hand it off, and we had a fullback up the middle right there. The next thing I know, Irwin's darting around in between defenders out there on the right-hand side. Two receivers to the right, to the left, 3rd and 4, ball on the 47-yard line of the Red Ravens. Irwin drops back, straight pack, screen pace set up. This one just over the hands of the intended receiver as Irwin was trying to set up the screen pass to Xavier Peters.
Now, the one thing you don't want to see right now is a block punt.
Peters,
right now, that's kind of a burr in my saddle right now.
Peters listed as a defensive end, 6'4", 255. That's who the intended receiver was. But Joe Carroll into punt here, 10:36 left to go in the ballgame. Carroll gets his foot into this one. It's going to be fair caught at about the 14-yard line while falling down. Nice job by the Red Raven to catch that one, as he was kind of falling down when he did catch it.
Make the routine look spectacular.
So the Red Ravens offense back out on the field here. Again, still trail 13-0. No score so far in this second half. It was all second quarter action. Actually, Garden City scored early in the second quarter and then added a couple of field goals. That's been the scoring so far for these two teams. Defense has been the name of the game for Garden City as their defense back out on the field.
I think we have a new quarterback.
Yeah, I believe this is Array. Array hands off to Star Thomas running off the left-hand side. Thomas going to gain about 8 or 9, close to the first down marker. I don't think he's got it. Give him a gain of 9 on the carry. That'll bring up 2nd and 1 for the Red Ravens.
Pretty good play call. I think our kids were probably thinking pass just because this guy's come in and pass all the time.
Right.
So
So Array into the ball game again. We've seen him in the first half, played a lot of the second quarter. As Aray's under center, brings a man in motion. Double tight end set this time for the Red Ravens. They turn around. Arai rolls out to his right, looking downfield. Got a man, fires it at about the 30, out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Pass is complete to Terrence Johnson.
Terrence Johnson on the reception for the Red Ravens. That'll move the chains. That'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Red Ravens as they pick up 9 on the pitch and catch.
I'll tell you one thing you can do with this kid is you can roll him out. It looks like he's pretty accurate when he throws, so Garden beware.
Dorian Lewis into the ball game for the Red Ravens for Star Thomas. And I'm like you. I think Thomas may be nursing an injury or something because he hasn't seen a lot of minutes.
No.
3 receivers split to the left this time as Arai rolls out to his left, fires short, got a man. See if they're going to say he caught that one or not. Yep, they did. Got a man at about the 39-yard line, so that'll be a gain of about 7. Taylor on the reception for the Red Ravens.
Gain of 5 on the play.
They're going to say gain of 5.
Second down and 5.
We'll go with that. That's less than my 7 I thought they got. 8:41 left to go here in the ball game. 13-0 Garden City. 2nd and 5, Red Ravens driving. Here's a ride, drops back, fires down the right-hand side, looking for a man out of bounds.
Good defense. by
Great
Davis.
defense out here by Davis, yeah. Nice job.
Oh, good Lord.
Johnson, and now
We got
did we have flags or did we
Yeah,
just have
we had
extracurricular
We got
activities?
flag
All
on
I
it.
seen was one of the Red Raven players being drugged back by his own player and thrown on the ground.
Oh, Lordy.
Here we go.
This will be interesting.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 75, Coffeyville. 15 yards from the end of the run. 4th down.
Oh,
So 75 on a Coffee.
Of the game.
So Coffeyville given the unsportsmanlike conduct.
so it was after the play. So
After
it's-
the play, yeah,
4th
15
down.
yards, 4th down, lost it down, so it'll be
Wow.
4th and forever
What a
for Coffeyville.
that was a costly penalty.
And I'm like you, I mean, we've had our fair share of those. So as soon as you see that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? But luckily, that time on Coffeyville.
For the most part, we've kind of kept everything in check. I wonder if Coffeyville knows it's actually 4th down.
Correction, it's 3rd down now.
Okay, it's 3rd down.
Okay, sorry about that.
Penalty moved the ball back to the 23-yard line.
So the ball now spotted on the 23. It'll be 3rd and 20 here for Coffeyville. Ray sends in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right. Ray drops back, stays in the pocket, got time to throw. Now being rushed out of the pocket, pushed around the left-hand side and going to get out of bounds, excuse me.
Nick Harvey on the ball.
Did he get back to the line of scrimmage? I just saw.
No,
a
I
little
don't.
lightning
I mean, he
down
might
there.
have right at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he gained any. That's going to bring up 4th and 20 is what I'm going to say. Starting to see some lightning to the north
Yep.
of Garden City. Been there for a little bit. Check the record.
Check your watch.
I'm going to get the radar, so I'm going to have to like,
I thought you had everything on that watch.
right?
Kevin Ward back to return for the Busters.
So 4th and 20.
Oh.
And here comes a fake punt. Not going to be enough for the 1st down, but they are going to move the ball out to
Terrence Johnson, the ball carrier.
Johnson was the ball carrier on the fake punt as they bring the ball out to about the 40-yard line. So that's where Garden City will have it offensively take over. Good field position for the offense.
I got to tell you, when that play started, it was kind of scary.
It
'cause
was.
He broke wide open. But Garden City's pursuit was so outstanding, they stopped him 5 yards short of the 1st down.
8:12 left to play here in the ball game. As I bring up the radar, we're going to need to run the ball a lot. Keep that clock moving as there's a wall of rain building up, probably about the Syracuse area, Syracuse, Lakin, somewhere out in there. Severe thunderstorms possibly north of us up in the Scott City area, but nothing severe out west yet, but it looks like that's headed this way. As Garden City going to keep the ball on the ground here. Going to gain about 4.
A little credit to Garden City's offensive line. They've done a pretty good job tonight.
They've been blowing them off the ball. I mean, they're doing a good job. And like I said, here in the last little bit where it's starting to get a little chippy, these guys are turning around, walking back to the huddle.
Yeah.
Good job, young men. I mean, that's what you got to
Absolutely.
have.
I mean, the message is starting to resonate now,
Right.
which is good.
Right. Coffeyville getting a little frustrated up front. So Garden City 2nd and 8, ball on their own 36-yard line. Irwin Shotgun formation, takes a snap. Here's Hodges. Hodges up the middle, hit at the line of scrimmage. Bowles forward, going to get out another 2 or 3 across the 35 down to about the 34-yard line.
Boy, that thing almost sprung. He almost got through there. We got a Coffeyville kid hurt.
Jalen Schuler on the tackle.
Schuler on the tackle for Coffeyville, and now we've got an injury timeout. So, yeah, looking at the radar, I'm estimating we've got roughly about 30 minutes.
Think 30?
Yeah, 30 minutes before we'll have lightning within 15 miles of the stadium is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Is my lightning detector showing a little lightning on that front. I'm guessing that storm somewhere between, again, not really a storm, just rain, but it looks like it's somewhere between Syracuse and Lincoln right now. So needing to, and I mean, that would, they're going to err in caution. I mean, rain, they'll let them play in a little rain, but as soon as that lightning strike hits, lightning detector, they will be, and then it's like you talked about in pregame, it's 30 minutes after the last lightning strike within 15 miles of your area. So you got to let that storm pass through, get 15 miles on the other side of us before you can start your 30-minute clock.
Yeah. Which I think is absolutely the right thing to do.
Right.
I mean, you got, hey, listen, a football game ain't worth a person's life. It's just not.
Nope.
Whether they be in the stands or out on the field.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right. And I don't know that I want to be sitting up here in the press box. I mean, it's kind of like a big lightning. I mean, I guess we get the light poles around us, 3rd and 6 here, ball on the 34, 7:17 left to go here in the ball game. Garden City on top, 13-0. Garden City with the ball and driving. Irwin in shotgun formation brings a man in motion. Takes a snap, turns around. This is Hodges. Hodges off the left-hand side, hit at the line of scrimmage. Going to gain maybe 1.
Brought down by Devontae Turner.
Big gain of 1, so that'll bring up 3rd and 6. Or excuse me, 4th and 6. So the Busters going to have to punt this one away. Joe Carroll already out on the field.
I think that's the right decision.
Sure.
If we can pin them deep in their territory, make them have to go to the field, I think that's going to be pretty tough on them.
Joe Carroll has been, his punts kind of line up for this right here. So he gets this one off and he hits a line drive. That one's going to be out of the end zone. That'll give the ball back to the Red Ravens. He's hit several tonight that have just been hanging, up there high and hanging, and that's what I was hoping for right there. Caught that one right off the end of the toe, out of bounds.
It looks like he was trying to kick it out about the 1 or 2, and the official's standing there. I don't know if he's – he actually marked it at the 4-yard line.
Wow. So they're going to walk up, though, I would think. I don't know. The official's talking about how to do this, how to spot this. But, yeah, he's got to – no foul on the play, and I don't know what they thought was the foul, but anyway, no foul on the play. So they're going to spot the ball.
Well, everything is 4 downs now for Coffeyville. So.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to have the ball at about the 4-yard line, so we're going to start this drive. 1st and 10 from their own 4. Their backs against the wall here.
Once again, the music is spot on.
Yep. More Michael Jackson here at the stadium tonight. So Coffeyville with the ball. Array stands on his own goal line. Array drops back, fires out to the right-hand side. Got a man at the 10, breaks a tackle, out to the 20, and finally escorted out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So that'll move the chains for Coffeyville. Nice play call right there to get out away from your own goal line.
Yeah. Safe pass. You get a receiver out on space. And
yep.
Gain 16 on the play. It'll bring up
Gained
first and
16
10.
on the pass play. Arida Wilson was the receiver. Here's Arai, stands back, hands this one off. Got a runner out over the right-hand side. That's Thomas. Thomas with room to run out across the 30 down to about the 35, up to about the 35-yard line. That'll move the chains again for the Red Ravens.
So if you're Garden City now, you got to prevent these chunk plays because this makes scoring a little bit easier.
Gain of 14 on the play. It'll bring up first down and 10 for the Red Ravens.
So 1st and 10 for the Red Ravens. Again, this drive started on their own 4-yard line, already out to the 34. Here's Array. Array drops back, looking to pass, fires one over the middle. Got a man wide open at the 45, across the 50, down to about the 47-yard line into Bronkbuster territory. So the Red Ravens mounting a late drive here, something we haven't seen against this defense all night.
17-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up first down and 10.
13 yards right there.
For the Red Ravens on the Busters.
After the start, Thomas 14-yard. Array to Bryce Childers, 17 yards on that pass play. Here's Array again. Fires this one out to Thomas. Thomas can't handle the ball's on the ground. Garden City going to pick it up. They're going to say it was not a lateral. I thought they ran. That's the same play it looked like they ran earlier in the day.
Yeah.
We thought was a lateral.
Yeah.
It'll bring up second down and 10.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
It's good that they misfired on that play simply because now they have to pass. You know they have to pass. I mean, they're a little bit more predictable. On that first down, if they get any yardage at all, you don't know what they can do.
Right. So 2nd and 10, ball on the Garden City 48. That was Cutts again on the hurry. Garden City brings pressure from the left-hand side. That one goes incomplete as Garden City brought pressure off the corner.
We almost undercut that throw, too. We came really close.
That was Arvell Ferguson on the pressure.
Yep. They
for
came
Garden
with
City.
Outside backer blitz, and it forced
Ray had to get rid of that one in a hurry.
Yeah, he had to get rid of it quick. And basically you're passing blind at that spot.
Yeah. So that'll bring up 3rd and 10. 4:40 left to play here in the ball game after the incomplete pass. Ray drops back, fires one outside, and this one going to be incomplete as he was looking for Taylor out here off the far side. Taylor couldn't bring it in. That pass low and in the dirt. Now there's a phrase that I'm used to using on the radio. That one low and in the dirt. Just a bit outside. 4th and 10. You know they're going to go for it. Garden City makes some changes. Now they got to get some guys off the field.
Might be worth Garden to take a timeout just so you get your defense settled. Because it looks like there's a lot of
D-backs in here. Avray drops back, rolls around, being pressured by Ferguson. He's got it. Finally gets away from Starr. Two-handed chest pass to Starr. Starr Thomas then hit at the 45-yard line. And they will turn it over on downs. Garden City holds.
I'll tell you what, for him to get rid of that pass was quite
a two-handed chest
feat.
pass, Coach. I mean, it looked to me like he was going down, and he two-handed chest passed that one too. Starr Thomas, who was out to his left just a little bit. So Garden City, these music guys, as they play. No. Brought a relief pitcher in the other night to You Got Me Under Pressure. With the bases loaded, nobody out, you know.
Oh, that's not good.
No. So Garden City takes over the ball on their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10. 4:21 left to play here in the ball game. Irwin, shotgun formation. Irwin takes the snap, turns around. I believe this is Hodges. Hodges running off the left-hand side. Got room to run. Breaks a tackle out across midfield down to about the 40-yard line. That was Jordan. Jordan Ford on the carry. Nope, that was Hodges. I was right the first time.
He has been just running like I have never seen him.
I mean, he gets his foot in the ground on the corner and makes the corner, and I mean, he's got some speed.
Yeah.
Gain is to the
Really impressive game for Hodges.
So that'll move the chains. Give Garden City a 1st and 10. Now clock continuing to tick. 3:44 left to play here in the ball game. Red Ravens 39-yard line. Two receivers split to the right, one to the left. 16 seconds on the play clock. As Irwin will monitor it, he'll let it tick down before he takes the snap. Here's the snap. Does. Here's a handoff up the middle. This one's going to gain about a yard or so. It was in trouble to start as the Red Ravens had men in the backfield.
It's hard to believe he even got a yard.
That was Jordan Ford again on the carry, and he comes right off the field hobbling again.
I'm telling you, it'd probably be
working
wise.
on that right calf.
Yeah, be
that
wise
right
to
lower calf.
Keep him out.
Hodges is doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Clock under 2:40 now. Second 11 here. Irwin barks out the snap. Here we go. Here's Hodges. Hodges up the middle, hit at the line of scrimmage. Hodges breaks loose through the line of scrimmage. 30, 20, 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Bronc-Busters. Hodges breaking tackles through the middle as that was a simple handoff in the two gap over the right-hand side. Hodges hit, spun out of one, and he was gone to the end zone, and the Bronc-Busters put another 6 on the board. Joe Carroll will come on to attempt the point after.
Touchdown run by Davion Hodges.
Davion Hodges rushes a 40-yard carry.
Seems like he was stopped, just bounced off the tackle, and then went untouched.
Yeah. Snaps down, kicks up, and it's good. So Garden City, with 2:30 left to go here in the ball game, go up 20-0 on the late score there by Davion Hodges. 40-yard carry.
Well, like I said, you got to give the offensive line some credit because they've done a really good job. And then you got to tip your hat to Hodges. He's had a wonderful game.
Wonderful game. 16 carries, 160 yards, averaging 10 yards a carry. That was his longest carry of the day right there, of 40. He's also got 2 touchdowns on the day.
Wow.
Jordan Ford, 20 carries, 94 yards, 4.7 a carry. I don't know if you're a coach. I guess you don't really see the lifetime stats. You know, get Ford in there and let him get 6 yards, so he's got a 100-yard game. Mike Irwin's got 26 yards rushing. LeBourne still in negative. LeBourne only had that one carry for where he lost yards, negative 3.
Start Thomas and Dorian Lewis to return.
Lewis and Thomas back deep for the Red Ravens as they kick this one that's going to hit and roll towards the end zone. Finally picked up at about the 5-yard line by by Jones, and he is smothered.
I mean, was a pursuit on that kickoff something?
Yeah,
Whoa.
Jackson, the returner, he backed up a step, and that's where he was brought down. Good job by the special teams of the Bronc-Busters to get down there and cover that one. So the Red Ravens will have the ball 1st and 10 on about the 4-yard line with 2:23 left to go here in the game. Looks like they might have their dime package in. A couple extra guys back there here. Because you're going to think that Bray's going to try to air this one out. Pick up some more heels. But a minute ago, you know, they were picking up big chunks with the rush, too.
Yes.
So Frey drops back, looks to pass, fires this one out to the right-hand side, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver on the far side.
Base pass is incomplete, intended for Bryce Childress.
Childress was the intended receiver. He's got 2 receptions for 30 yards on the night. Dropped that one. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Again, the ball spotted on about the 7-yard line. 2:18 left to go here in the ball game. Man goes in motion. Avrai in the shotgun formation. Fires out to the left-hand side. Got a man out there. Turns up past the 10. Cut down at about the 14-yard line. That pass was complete to Childress.
Brought down by Elijah Durable.
Under 2
Under
now.
2 minutes to play here in the ball game. Garden City on top of this one, 20-0. The thing you got to hope for here is they can keep it up. I'd love to see the defense get a shutout. They deserve one tonight.
Absolutely.
So Avrai stands in shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Thomas stands beside him. Here's Avrai. Throws this one out and in the dirt.
They brought a little pressure from the right side, and that caused him to speed up his throw, and pattern wasn't there yet.
Nick Arvay's pass is incomplete.
So Avrai's pass incomplete. That'll fall. That'll bring up 4th and 4 here for the Red Ravens. I don't know. Do you fake it twice?
I don't know if they'll do it now. I mean, I think what you got to do is take your poison and go home.
Yeah. Well, Seagraves will stand about 2 yards deep in his own end zone here to punt this one away with 1:36 left to go. You got to think Garden City's going to be ready for it if they do. They don't. Oh, Garden City blocks this one and run it. We're going to have a roughing the kicker penalty, as we've got extracurricular in the end zone, and now we've got another flag. We've got a hat. We've got one official that's had to throw 2 flags, so there's a flag down, and I think that's going to be an unnecessary roughness against Coffeyville is how I seen that one, John. Basically what happened, after the ball was kicked, there was a offensive lineman that had blocked a Bronkbuster back into the Bronkbuster end zone and kept driving him kind of like the blindside guy where you're going to drive him up over the wall, and then he was thrown to the ground.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do.
I mean, are you going to give the
got a
penalty
roughing
to the
the kicker.
Bronkbuster guy, or are you going to give it to the Coffeyville kid because he didn't disengage when he should have?
There were 2 fouls in play, both by Garden City. Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 11. That 15 yards to be added, 15 yards to make the previous spot. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 20, Garden City. That's his first unsportsmanlike conduct in the city. That 15 yards to be added.
So basically they waited till the whistle blew, and then as soon as the whistle blew, they threw the hat for the unnecessary roughness on Garden City, who was just trying to get rid of the guy that was 40 yards away from the play.
Yeah, and wouldn't disengage.
Yeah.
Wouldn't disengage.
Right.
And it's on Garden City. That's –
So we'll see what the end result of that's going to be.
good field position for Coffeyville, that's for sure. Holy cow.
That bailed them out there. Again, they were, Garden City was slated to get the ball back on the punt.
Yeah.
Had the ball 1st and 10. Garden City would have had the ball, and still, man, that's going to move the ball to the 43-yard line of Garden City, and that's where Coffeyville is going to have it 1st and 10 after that weird set of penalties. So Coffeyville still trying to their chances are still alive of scoring. Here's a handoff to Thomas. Thomas through the line of scrimmage and brought down after he gained about 4.
Star Thomas, the ball carrier, brought down by Eli Hill.
Another Coffeyville kid.
Another Coffeyville player on the ground here. Royals beat the White Sox. MLB action. Salvador Perez, Carlos Santana, Mike Minor those guys back-to-back home runs. Mike Minor, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks. So the Royals finding their way back into the win column after what I thought was going to be a tremendous season for the Royals, and then they kind of
hit the skids
and kind of came back to being the Royals, and now maybe starting to win a couple more here.
we were talking about ballparks and everything, and the ballpark that I like the most, even though I'm a Rocky fan, and I like Coors. Coors old time flavor, but to me, Busch Stadium's the best.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got being a Cardinals fan, man. I've spent a lot of time down there. It's a beautiful place.
It is.
And I like it's a good family vacation every year.
Absolutely.
2nd and 7 here. Ball on the 46 clock inside a minute. Here's a handoff to Star Thomas over left-hand side. Hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped immediately. So Garden City still working on their shutout. As the clock now inside of 45 seconds.
I don't think Coffeyville's going to stop
2nd and 7.
either.
I don't think they are either. 2nd and 7. Garden City just got to hold two. Don't give up something cheap here at the end, and they'll get their shutout. Here's a pass off the right-hand side, completed to Taylor. Spot the ball right out midfield. That'll bring up 4th and 4 here for Coffeyville.
That was a great open field tackle, simply
Sure was.
because there was nobody behind them.
Right. Yeah, you missed that one. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Clock inside 23 seconds now. Harvey under center. Takes a snap, turns around. Here's Thomas running off the right-hand side. Breaks a tackle through the line of scrimmage, headed towards the sideline. Going to be out of bounds at about the Garden City 35-yard line.
That was a good play call. You expect pass.
Yeah, and we've seen that from Coffeyville. We start thinking pass, and we're only bringing 4, and they're sneaking that. They're sneaking Star Thomas through the line of scrimmage, and he's got some speed. He can get down the field in a hurry. 8 seconds on the clock, 1st and 10 after the Star Thomas run. 16 yards for Thomas on the scamper. 8 seconds on the clock. Here's Harvey. Harvey drops back, looking to pass, rolls out to his left, steps up at the line of scrimmage, fires one downhill, picked off at the 10, and going to be out of bounds at about the 15. So Garden City with an interception, and that'll do it. That'll do it for the ball game. Garden City victorious 20-0 as they defeat Coffeyville.
I'll tell you what, Aaron, this is a win where I felt like Garden City got back on track as far as their offense.
Yeah.
Defensively, didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
I mean, defense was excellent. Next week's going to be a big game at Butler. 2 years ago, we lost to Butler at Butler when we had the lead going into the third and fourth quarter. And so, a little bit of payback. We got to finish the spring hard, even though we're probably not going to play in any bowl game or championship game, I don't think. So kids playing against a quality opponent that last game with a chance to go 7-1, I think that's great motivation.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a great season, and that's what you got to, that's what you're looking for right there. It's been this was a game that I thought, hey, this is going to be a back and forth game, nip and tuck here and there, and I was looking for a good game tonight. And Garden City's defense, man, they just came out and didn't give, we'll get the stats here in just a little bit, but they didn't give Coffeyville anything tonight.
No, they didn't. And you know what? They've been on this run for the last, since the season started. I look at their performance in Independence and how they shut Independence down. Independence had a couple of first and goals, couldn't score. Then I look at what they did at Hutchinson. I thought that was amazing, even though we didn't win the game. And then you look at what they did against Dodge City. Dodge City was probably the only team that I think really gashed Garden. And I think maybe it was because Garden was coming off a little bit of a letdown after that Hutch game. And now they look like they're back to full tilt.
Yeah.
And they haven't skipped a beat. And the great thing is having a chance to go 7-1 in this pandemic here. I don't care. Bottom line is, man, you're 7-1. You had fun playing ball. You got a chance to get an extra year when a lot of other people didn't. And so, you take that and rest your hat on it because it's quite a deal.
Yeah. Good season so far for this team, and look for more things, more goodness to come. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come right back here with post-game show stats and go over that, and then anyway, be it good evening. Thanks. Garden City wins tonight again, 20-0. We're going to take a break here, and then we'll come right back with your post-game show. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Bronc Buster Football here on 99.9 The Rock.